right, everybody, welcome to Mallam Go podcast. It's a holiday today in Ghana. I know you are watching us, across the globe. So in Ghana, it's a holiday, but we still have to meet.
Of course,
the guys have to meet. Atu is on his way. Daniel is here.
Fantastic.
Coach is here. Fentu is with the wife. Enjoying
he needs to go and be
family time.
A family man.
Yeah, so we are here, and of course you're also here. So join us on social media, guys. Let's repost it. Am I live? Am I clear? Am I loud?
Yeah, fantastic.
Hey,
I've not posted it. Did you send it? Oh, you put it on the platform.
So
you didn't send it. No,
it's on YouTube. Okay, drop them.
I said no, but you for said give me.
So guys, we are live.
So we are live.
We are live on the Mallam Go podcast. We are going to be reviewing the Champions League. Crazy games came up in midweek. Both ties are still alive going into the second league, which means there's plenty to play for. And we'll be having a wonderful discussion about them.
They take some or they put for the platform.
I put for the page top.
They take for the page top. And of course, we also look ahead to what is to come in the second leg in the Champions League semi-finals. Then we'll also talk about what is to come this weekend. Some big games. Already some league titles have been won. But yeah, there's still some games to talk about because there's top 5 race in the Premier League and other leagues as well are yet to determine their champion, especially in Italy. How does it affect Inter Milan? So you're welcome. Tell your friends that we are here. Share the link and it is live. Gentlemen, welcome.
Welcome, bro.
What a week of great football, man.
Sweet.
What a week of great football.
Champions League classics.
Yeah, man. It started on Tuesday, obviously. Champions League are played on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, where Arsenal played against Paris Saint-Germain. It was in London at the Emirates Stadium, or UEFA will call it Arsenal Stadium. Have you paid attention that UEFA never gives names or write the names of the stadium as they are being called by their sponsors? Yeah, because UEFA don't admit your sponsors.
That's why.
Right? So UEFA will market
Arsenal Stadium.
Stadium. Every other stadium you can think about that has a name, a sponsor name attached to it. UEFA will not. They'll write the club's name. So let's say Allianz Arena is the Bayern Munich Stadium because of Allianz.
Yeah.
So they will call it what? The Bayern Munich Stadium.
Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay. Emirates Stadium is UEFA will call it Arsenal
The Arsenal Stadium.
The Arsenal
Yeah.
Stadium.
So I think as for Old Trafford, it's Old Trafford, obviously.
Yeah.
because
Even Man City.
Even Man City, they take away the Etihad. They take out the Manchester City Stadium. Yeah. So UEFA doesn't admit your sponsor. They won't do marketing for them
They should be there.
on their platform. But it's strategic
Yeah, man.
because their sponsors are very diverse.
Exactly.
Because
They have a lot.
UEFA's partners in UK, air partners in UK is Qatar.
Yeah.
So imagine UEFA now going to hype Emirates. And
A
UEFA does a lot
rival.
of direct rivals. So I don't know, but they do it. That's what they do anyway. So yeah, that's just by way of paying attention to some of these things. But that's what UEFA does. Shall we delve straight into the game or give? Okay, let's give our viewers some 5 minutes.
Some shoutouts.
Some shoutouts.
So then, if you can pick some up, you can now. If you are there,
Fantastic. Let me see.
yeah, let's pick some up and give them shout outs there.
Saint Ashi. He said active. I love that. Kelo the Great. Let's go. We go. Rob says we live. Promise Junior says PSG are qualifying. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Probably should not give prediction for final. It's a PSG Inter final.
Oh boy.
Wait, Ora Kylie says, no. It's even. Wait, someone says,
Any party yo, German no me share yo. Any party yo, German no me share yo. Bono chui mi che, tamo patele bao what any what. No, boys, live.
All right, so Promise Juniors in Nigeria. He says Danny K and coach sending love from Nigeria.
Charlie with the love for that. Alata brothers. Charlie,
to be honest, when the pod started, we got a lot more traction on episode 1 and 2 for my Nigerian brothers because of the AFCON.
Exactly.
And at the time, Ghana were out, Nigeria were good.
Yeah. And they were trolling us, Charlie. Big time. Everyone teased me.
And we credit to the team. We did an immense analysis on the team.
Yeah.
And Nigerians are like, we're giving too much support to Ghana out. So we actually started this pod with them, and I mean, we always laugh. This guy says, Promise Junior says that, no, Mustafa Bakassi says, before you start, Please give coach his flowers regarding Partey's absence.
Oh, today the program is for him. Look, I brought the Ododopo because of the man.
Yeah.
And look, it is clear.
No party.
But that the case of foolish boy. You know, we were on another platform on Monday nights.
Of course.
And we're having a conversation on.
And I was watching
the slot. You watch. So it was a debate. It was a debate, and some people don't know this, but sometimes we plan the show.
Of course.
Yeah. And that is why you enjoyed it. It's not necessarily because everything I said, I believe, but I'm debating for one side, so I have to make
Of course, you stick to your point.
The same for Danny K. Danny K would defend his position. Doesn't mean that he believes everything, but it's a debate.
You know the icing on the cake? Yeah. There was a text that described him as a liar.
As a liar. And I floored it. I floored it.
I was in my seat. I was like, oh my goodness. This text, can't you read it between the lines? What is happening?
You know. And you know, when I went first, so I took my turn first for the debate. As soon as I was done, Danny K said, Wakasa be See, Danny K is
you set your own questions. They answer your own.
He's planning on how to rebut all I said. He's buying himself time.
I didn't time.
He's buying himself time.
Guy.
He's buying.
I didn't time.
The guy said, Wakasa be sit your head.
How the boys they laugh. I didn't think.
So Eric Asari, who I'm sure followed that program,
yes,
says that Wakasa be brave. This one is from Dosa Amatuchi. He said, good evening, guys. We are live from UAE, Rak Asna.
Oh, my goodness.
We are global, guys. We are global.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic, man.
Elom Koku says that Inter is winning the Champions League. And Yuji Mate says, no more!
Obawo.
Sorry guys, it's today be holiday. This one says, Kof Town Babe says that, hey Kof, we surprised you today. We didn't announce we're coming live. No. But that is why we love you guys, because even though we didn't announce, because notification bells are on.
That is
you guys are flooding us with so much, love, and we appreciate that. We don't take that for granted. As Afokra says that, I am the master. Give me the ball. Go forward. Give me the ball. Stay here. Give me the ball. Long ball to Saka. So this guy, Eric Asari says, I follow you guys everywhere. You guys are just my favorite, but you guys are all my favorites. But Danny K be my guy. Oh man. So yeah. Okay. So this one says Arsenal will win the Champions League. That's from Kester Anane. Aaron Befi says, I beg, make you people bring Sweet Karim. Special request. We're gonna bring Sweet Karim. Special request. Karim man.
Sweet Karim.
Karim man.
Hey, Bando,
if he had guy, man, there, he make a laugh. I say, but this guy,
you was so cool like that.
Charlie.
Karim man. He more grow past him, but
Charlie,
something to go tell you, go think about that.
Whack me. Charlie.
Okay, so this one too is coming from Ronald Kekeli. He says that tell coach Chelsea are in Europe tonight. Coach, that's
I don't watch that game. What sort of game is that?
Aston Martin said, Odegaard was sunroof. Aston will get there. And this guy, you guys are too silent on our night's hell game. All right, I'm sure you're a Man United fan or perhaps a Chelsea fan. We'll touch briefly on
we'll speak
the games that are coming tonight in Europa and the Conference League. This guy said, Don Capone. Ziggy says, good show. Keep it up. Watching you from Qatar. God damn it, bro. We global. So yeah. So tell your friends that we are live. We are live. So we're gonna be delving straight into, the games that we saw in midweek. It was absolutely captivating. Plenty of talking points. We couldn't wait to get here for the pod because there is so much to break down, so much to digest, and we'll delve straight into it. Gentlemen, let's start from Tuesday. I think it's just proper. We start from Tuesday, then we talk about Wednesday. So we'll review the two games. Then we'll look into the two games. We preview what is to come next weekend.
Exactly.
Anybody can go first, guys. It was breathtaking. Arsenal playing against Tuesday. Arsenal at home.
I want to. I'll
Paris
teach you
Saint-Germain.
a song. So
Right.
you,
I'll back
you,
you.
you have to listen.
I'm paying
to the song.
attention. Okay.
Keji mi ye fijin.
Is that the chorus? Me teach me the chorus.
I'll teach you the chorus.
Do the solo.
Keji mi ye fijin. Tomo opole ma faye.
Oh no! I just want to teach a song.
No, I just to teach you the chorus. So I'm going to the chorus.
Okay.
You go say, Keji mi ye fijin tamo opole ma faye. Bahu wote ni wote. Bahu wote ni wote. That will come in again. Keji mi ye fijin tamo opole ma faye. Bahu wote ni wote. Bahu wote ni wote.
Okay.
What it literally means that if I have wings like the bird, I will fly. So join me and let's fly. Then I'll come back and say,
let's fly. Let's fly.
No mi share yo. If I say any party yo, then Jeme no mi share yo. Jeme no mi share yo.
No mi share yo.
Party yo.
Jeme no mi share yo.
Oh, any party yo.
Jeme no mi share yo.
So anytime you hear me say any party yo,
Jeme no mi share yo.
What that simply means that if I have wings like the bird, I'll fly. Join me and let's fly. Wherever there's party, there's joy. Wherever there's party, there's happiness. Then I'll say, Bono Trimiche. Those of us with clean heart, come and let's join the party.
The party.
You understand the song?
Party.
Oh, Charlie. Look, some of us, we knew that without him,
Forget.
it would be extremely difficult. Look, granting my heart, on Tuesday, you realize there was a stage where even the cameramen,
They went to him.
Jesus Christ,
They know.
You see, all these camera guys, they know football.
They know football, Charlie.
They eat football. They drink football. They understand football. Having observed a certain trend of the way PSG and the Arsenal game was going back and forth, the cameraman saw that
The guy is
there's
there.
somebody missing.
The guy is there.
Where can I locate him? So the camera started searching. Over 60,000 people at the Emirates.
Quick.
And then it just fell on the young man. Look,
Pate!
you see, beside him is his beloved. His beloved wife. Yes. And you could see the wife just squeezing the arms of the boy. Cool down, baby boy. Cool down,
baby boy.
If the West come to West, you will kuta and be happy.
Quick.
If the West come to West,
You kuta and be happy.
and Mrs. Pate
Quick.
gave Pate some form of joy after
Quick.
the game
After the
because he
game.
was very sad.
He was very sad. That one confirmed.
And Pate confirmed. Don't
Fantastic.
worry. Next week Wednesday.
I'm coming.
Keji mi ye fijin tamo opole ma fae. Bawo wote ni wote. Keji mi ye fijin tamo opole ma fae. Bawo wote ni wote. Awo inke eni pate yo jeme no mi she yo. Eni pate yo jeme no mi she yo. Eni pate yo jeme no mi she yo. Inke eni pate yo jeme no mi she yo. Inke eni pate yo jeme no mi she yo. Awo inke eni pate yo jeme no mi she yo. Awo onu twi mi che tamo opole ba fa e ba o wote eni wote.
Coach, let's have it again.
Look, you see, on Tuesday, Mikel Arteta, I think the absence of Partey gave him sleepless night. So, in trying to find a solution, he just didn't know exactly what to do. You remember, we gave options on this program. Would he withdraw Marino? Or he'll bring in Zinchenko? Or ask the left-footed boy, who we are told is not a natural left fullback, but he's a midfielder, put him in the middle. And how would he require Declan Rice to play? If I was the coach, the mentality would have been not to lose that game. Come what may, we will not lose that game. I think Arsenal would have been better off going to the Stade du Parc goalless.
Goalless, yeah.
Now, you can clearly see that if Partey was around, that early goal, they wouldn't have conceded that goal. If you look at where the problem started leading to that goal, it was a clear indication that the one deployed in that role to hold, protect, is not a natural DM. In fact, when Dembele scored the goal that early, wherever I was watching the game, I told the guys, it's either this is the winning goal or it will get worse for us now. And then there was a friend, in fact, a very elderly man. He said, coach, it's too early. We can still come back. I said, no. In big games like this,
don't make such mistakes.
Normally, for you to recover from an early, we saw Barcelona did that yesterday, but we'll come to them. For you to recover from an early goal, normally is huge. And most often than none, semi-finals are not supposed to be explosive. Yeah. Because tactically, coaches look at it and say, come on, I'm one step away.
Yeah, keep it tight.
So me, I don't like watching semi-final games. Yeah. Either in a major tournament or in the Champions League or even the normal
the risk elements are not really.
Of course, everybody is so mean. We want to be very mean. Nobody's ready to give anything
away.
You
spoke about the early goal. Did that in the long run affect Arsenal because the atmosphere sounded great before kickoff?
Yes, but
that early goal derailed.
Nobody expected that, even the supporters. Yeah. So it just took something out of the way from them. Yeah. So for them to get back into it, they needed the controller. They needed the master. They needed the boss. They needed somebody to get on the ball and calm the nerve of everybody down. Yeah. Because one thing that Arsenal couldn't afford to do, which they did on the day, was the fact that you are playing against a ball-playing team. Mm-hmm. What you couldn't afford to do is to do a lot of turnovers. Hand over the ball to them the moment they show up pressing you. Once you do that, they will suck the life out of you. That was where I said, look, if you don't respect Thomas Partey, then you actually don't understand football.
Charlie, Nasbrain is watching us live from Italia. Powerhouse is watching us from West London, guys.
Look,
God damn it.
So the moment they considered the first goal, they needed somebody to calm them down. And then for me, that was where I sort of disagree with Mikel Arteta. He should have just done this. Everybody breathe in.
I think there's a replay of Declan Rice who was saying,
yes, I mean, but you see, normally it should come from the manager.
It was the opposite instruction.
Yes.
Arteta turned to the crowd and was trying to get them.
Wait. At that moment,
but shouldn't have been the case.
At that moment, it's not about the crowd.
I understand him because, coach,
granted,
it completely went silent. It's like waiting for the whistle to go like it's there a go. Like they didn't be. It's like they were in shock.
So at that moment, the crowd are passive participant of the occasion. They are not active. At that moment, you don't focus on them. If you can get the adrenaline level of your players to drop, and then gradually, then the crowd will now, because what the crowd the players needed to bring the crowd back.
Yeah.
Because they have received the shock of their lives. They didn't see that early goal coming. So the moment as the manager, you consider that early goal. If I was the one in charge, quickly, you call on the leaders in the team. Breathe in. Let's go. Do that. Keep. Because they needed to build a certain level of confidence in the next 10 minutes. Then the crowd would have bought into whatever they were doing. Then the atmosphere completely changes, even beyond the way it was before the game started. Mm-hmm. Rather, by doing this, he wanted an instant reaction from the team. No, this is PSG we're talking about here. By far, if not Barcelona, the best ball-playing team in the Champions League. So what did Luis Enrique do? He also just told his boys that get hold of the run object and then pop them around. And anytime Arsenal won it, PSG just needed to show up in the press. And then they gave them back the ball. So that is not the way to motivate your team when you just receive something that you least expect. Calm them down and get them to play. Again, I didn't like the way he deployed the Spanish boy. Marino.
Ono dia wasan. Coach wasan.
That
guy is a problem.
I really didn't like the way
you say, oh, me, I'll say, man, wasan.
You see,
hey, Marino, he's been box enjoy.
You see, he's been asked to do. He was asked to do too many things on the day. And Sicho, when he's a makeshift number 9, so you better define his role for him. Because Odegaard was struggling,
that one to come there,
and you are asking Mourinho to do the number 9 and drop and do the number 10 to bring Rice and or to get them to link with Rice. You are asking him to do too much.
But who was more advanced between Rice and Marino in the game?
They
kept on doing this.
I think
was that a problem?
Rice was a bit deeper. He only went when the situation presented itself for him to go. Then he went. So you see the goal that he scored, which was disallowed.
Yeah.
The Mourinho goal. I was telling myself that, look, keep him there. Don't take him away from there. Keep him there. Because Arsenal needed somebody to engage. Look, the PSV back 3 or whatever, they are very comfortable on the ball.
But coach, you see, to be fair to Arteta, that would have been very difficult because it was Trossard, Martinelli who were
the two of them, they were shuffling.
So if he shifted Marino,
you see, the two of them
very open.
No, you see,
and Odegaard too.
No, because Odegaard was not doing what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think Trossard closer to Odegaard, sort of in that number 10 role to get him to get on the ball and then bring something out of Odegaard would have been brilliant. Because they needed somebody to get Saka to influence the game. Shockingly, Saka was used in chemistry. We say he was used sparingly. Arsenal
was never the focus.
He was never the focus.
Like we saw in the game against Madrid, where
that was due to the absence of Thomas Partey.
But is that also credit to PSG in the way they
play? You can.
I thought they deliberately shifted.
I blame Arteta.
I think they deliberately shifted. Like it's like they are defending against Arsenal and shifting Arsenal's team to one side.
No, but you see, that is where the technical ability of Thomas Partey. We saw Real Madrid doing everything to stop Arsenal from passing the ball to.
Yeah.
Passing the ball to.
And to be fair, not many Arsenal players taking a risk.
Exactly.
The more difficult
but when Partey picks up the ball, in between the channels, he could pick the pass. You know, Partey is very good at disguising the pass.
Yeah.
He's looking at the pass. Looking at the pass.
I was listening to some European.
Rice man, can be famous.
Some Europeans speak about the game and
he said,
someone said, "Yeah, Partey is a good coach, but not the best passer of the ball." Then I tuned off. I tuned off.
It's a joke.
I tuned off because really he's the best passer of the ball in that team.
Joke.
The fact that he's deep means that kind of really pick the final ball that leads to the goal most of the time. It's like saying Rodri is not a great passer of the ball because like Phil Foden is closer to go and assist more than Rodri. So Rodri doesn't pass better than Phil Foden. Like it's all, I just tuned off. I was like,
it's very disgusting. Yeah. Surely you just tuned off. So
I just tuned off.
He doesn't know what he was talking about. But you see, PSG, they are a good team.
Oh yeah, granted.
Because look,
what went the trick for them, coach?
I think, you see, the fact that they could isolate their pacey wingers 1v1 against the Arsenal fullbacks. Because we saw against Real Madrid, Timber could come forward, yes, still get back.
Charlie, come.
Go ahead.
Right now, I don't know if the boy is someone then they lie or right now be true.
They say
right
what?
Now, I brought from Kwani. Emmanuel says live from Iraq. Philip Doe says live from Mitcham, London. Mr. Ahmed says live from Derby. Atroy Aplo says live from Illinois. PSG will win the UCL. Yao Dap says watching from Youngstown, Ohio. This one too. Ralph says watching from Cornwall, Ontario. Numo Nimle, I love your shots. Charlie. Charlie. They should check like above Iraqis then since.
This podcast, we say it the way it is.
John Odatemio says that
what?
Live from Tulaku. Sicho, mention it. About Tulaku people. Tulaku. Continue.
So you see, for PSG, they played to their strength. And credit must be given to Enrique. Look at the contrast between the two managers. Whilst Arteta was asking his players to force the issue, Luis Enrique was asking his players to get on the ball and dictate the tempo of the game. And that is the best way to control games. I do admit there are times where you don't need to get the ball to control the game. But once you are leading, the best way to control the game is to get on the ball and deprive your opponent of the ball. And that was exactly what they were doing. Look, truth be told, they should have blown Arsenal away. Truth be told, they should have taken at least minimum 2 goals back to the stadium.
Raya made a good save from the Desiree Doué.
Yes.
Ramos hit the post. Bakola couldn't keep his composure to find
exactly.
the ball. Was it?
Yeah. I think he was offside. The replay showed that he was offside.
I think the one who returned the pass to him was Ramos. Ramos. I think Ramos was offside. He came from an offside position.
When Ramos returned the pass,
he had just gone.
Bakola just crossed the line.
You understand? So the game, in my view, ended 1-0 because of the impact the Ghanaian will have on the second leg.
Yeah.
That is what I said, look, Arsenal are down. And in such situation, if I'm the coach, I don't want to coach the leading team. Because it is easier to motivate the one that is down. So I want to be in the shoes of Mikel Arteta. What he shouldn't do in that second leg is to take the risk from the word go.
He has to manage it.
Manage it.
There's no giddy in trying to win it.
There's no need to try to win it. It's 90 minutes.
Away goal,
I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they are down.
I agree.
But they are not out.
I agree.
So they shouldn't
risk too much.
Don't risk too much.
Yeah.
Keep to your game, keep your shape, and let's play.
Yeah,
it's just a goal.
The game is very much alive. Like, it's very much alive.
And we've seen PSG historically. They've struggled when it matters most like this.
Yeah.
What beckons? The final beckons. The trophy, that match that you come out of the tunnel and you have the trophy closer to you, or as you walk out of the tunnel, the trophy is there while you go into the pitch, is what is at stake here. But Martinelli needs to be a bit more clinical. You saw the ball that I
thought his first touch was poor, so he couldn't take the ball away from himself.
Exactly.
To give him the opportunity to bend. And the
against Courtois.
And the second chance was the Courtois one. The final touch before the effort was good.
Was good.
He was coming
at
an angle.
Yeah.
And the touch before but
gave him the
first time didn't take the ball too far away from him.
So he was,
and the angle wasn't great. So he was forced to take another touch, which was also too short. So he couldn't get a Keller. But credit to Courtois still though.
Yeah, Donnarumma. He made the save.
But damn, the Trossard save. That's about one of the best saves I've seen the whole year. Like,
I think the Trossard save, and you remember when they played Villa, that Rashford save.
The header.
Yeah.
Not the header, the strike. See, Rashford had a
for me, it was a Tillemans header.
A Tillemans header.
The shot was hit, and he had saved it on the
ground, and then
he was now recovering, and then
Yes. I think those two saves is what has kept PSG where they are. But look, that's
and it was massive in the game at Anfield. I mean, at Parc des Princes, it was Alisson, but at Anfield it was Donnarumma.
Yes.
Yeah.
At Anfield it was Donnarumma. And he's carried that forward. But look, it's about mentality here.
We'll talk about the second leg. Let's go to that one.
It's about mentality here. But look, over what we saw in that first leg, I think the better team won. I think
the better team on the day.
The better team on the day was
PSG.
So we want to see. I have spoken to the camp of the Ghanaian. I have pleaded that they give me the chance to talk to Thomas Partey, and I've been promised that I will be given the chance to talk to Thomas Partey. No more call Butu. Partey, call Butu. Coach Nimline. I want to talk to you before that second leg on Wednesday.
Very important.
Look, the game is dependent on Partey. Show the world the Ghanaianness in you.
Quick.
Partey. Coach Nimli says, show the world.
Show the world.
The Ghanaianness.
The Ghanaianness.
Oh, no more.
Show the world.
Numo. Masole mana hiwale. Masole mana hiwale. Masole mana Masole wa. Masole mana hiwale. Keina hiwale jawo kudo. Keina hiwale jawo kudo. Masole mana hiwale.
Danny,
Fantastic.
coach.
Yeah, hand over to him.
Danny, that's, I mean, your perspective.
Arteta.
Oh, no. Mikel Arteta.
Arteta.
Oh, I thought about boy.
What is it?
No. Two things. Make a blast him first, and I will give him first.
Why you won't last time? What you do?
No, I want blast him because of something. You see, the best managers in the world, his boss, Pep Guardiola.
Opinion, yeah.
When you get to certain zones, you get to certain quarters, you don't take some risk.
What risk did he take in this game? I thought he played everybody was expecting.
You look at what is happening now. You don't look at what could be when it comes to selection of players. Arsenal without Partey at 60%. So me, I wasn't here last week, but I told friends that I was hoping that they give themselves a good enough result to go to Paris when he comes back.
Yeah.
Because without Partey, for me, they can't beat PSG. So who he selected on the day was going to be extremely important.
Charlie.
In 2025, Odegaard has been a friend example, Crystal Palace level player.
Since his injury, he had like 3 good games and he's not been the same. He looks sluggish, he's looked tired.
Shadow Ankasa. Like, it's painful watching him.
It's like confidence is not that great, you know.
And for Arteta, you see, that Real Madrid game, I was so confident. Like, they didn't need him to have a good game for them to win.
At all.
That's how I thought dominant I believed Arsenal would be. But in this game, especially without Partey, which coach has highlighted, you needed certain players to be on form, top form. Like, you can't make a mistake. And for me, Odegaard, that selection was a serious problem.
Charlie, can interrupt some more.
Quick.
CIE, how would you pronounce it?
See?
Sie says the feeling is mad when streaming on television.
Oh, Charlie.
Feeling.
Compton Babe says, I'm doing groceries, but Charlie, I'm still listening. I'm addicted.
Compton Babe.
Arteta.
Oh, Charlie.
This one says, I just have to take some break from work to watch you guys from it to be. Hey, wherever it is, it's in Canada.
Yeah, more like.
It's in Canada, more like Charlie. Charlie, keep the grind. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Keep it coming. All right, Danny.
Charlie. So the Odegaard selection for me is serious problem.
But if Odegaard didn't play, who was gonna?
Start Wanyeri.
Where
Odegaard plays.
Okay. So
Why you be there?
now, I've seen people say it, but I'm saying Odegaard is a skipper. He's not playing great at the minute. It's a Champions League semi-final. The boy is still young. But his natural position is where Saka
is playing.
plays, and he can display Saka. And I don't even think Saka will do a great job where Odegaard plays. Saka is even more experienced.
Yeah.
If he throws Iwaneri into that number 10 role, offensively, he might offer something. But when he has to drop into some pockets of space, especially when he's central, does he have the capacity to do it? So maybe the manager is thinking about, throwing the young boy in, the risk with it and all of that.
First of all, Wanyeri, yes, it's true. His natural position is out wide.
Yeah.
But he's a much better player in the half spaces than Saka.
Yeah.
And in the second half, I'll get there. There are a couple of things I want to blast Arteta's for. The Odegaard thing is out of the way. I would have started Wanyeri, but I'll get to why I would have started Wanyeri. Without Partey, Arsenal can play their natural style. And without Partey, when it comes to possessing the ball, we saw it in the first game between PSG and Arsenal. There's a way you can beat this PSG team. Even Aston Villa, I will tell you there's a way, and Wednesday will show you. But without Partey, you can't outpossess them. So it means you need to adapt. Arteta made a mistake by trying or forcing Rice to be Partey. Arsenal were never going to have that composure, that ease from passing from the back progression as Partey will give them. The PSG press is a bit too strong. It's a bit too well drilled for Rice. Rice doesn't have that awareness. He's good, but he's not elite. You need an elite number 6, a Rodri, a Partey. If Jorginho was fit, this is the sort of game that he plays. But Rice can't do that job. So for a very long, in fact, I think for 25, 30 minutes into the game, Arsenal was struggling to build.
They were struggling no more.
But Chinchina,
they
wanted to do it how they would have done
when Partey.
You see, and that was the issue. So it was too easy for PSG. So Arsenal now started rushing things. And once the ball leaves the midfield, PSG win it back, pass it around, suck the life out of them, which was an issue. But Arteta did something stylistically in the second half, which I like. He gave a bit more responsibility. In fact, from the ending of the first half, he gave a bit more responsibility to Miles Lewis-Kelly. You don't have anybody who can pass the ball like Partey, but you have somebody who can carry the ball to the destination, and that is Lewis-Kelly. So we saw Skelly now picking the ball, driving past players, and then sending it into the zone he wanted to be in. Then Odegaard will pick it up. But also,
no more. Odegaard, he really disturbed us that day.
I mean, there were moments where there were spaces behind the PSG team that he could play that ball. But
that's what I see. The game, we see the team finish.
Like, he can, like, the spaces there, but it's just the confidence at the minute to play that ball, to,
Bruno,
just
push it.
Yeah.
Bruno, san. Sa passes CD.
Okay.
Yeah, but did you?
And you see, for me, that Master Holland, they make no talking matter. If they can't play today, they can't vex me. See, I really loved that stylistic approach. And in the second half, you see, Arsenal were not. I think they were better in the second half.
Yeah.
But in making that stylistic approach, Arteta also did something that I didn't understand. Did you see him shift Saka out wide?
Yeah.
Into the half space. And then all of a sudden, Timber, and then later, what's his name? Ben White was out to hack the touchline. So now when Saka picks the ball,
he's in the crowd. He's in the crowd.
Meanwhile,
and that's not his game, really.
That's not his game. And you see, I understand why you make that shift because of the problem that existed. But you see, Odegaard wasn't doing that work. He thought maybe if Saka comes in, he'll do a better job. But straight from halftime, bring in Wanyeri. Now let me tell you, see, if Wanyeri is playing in the position of Odegaard, I'm not asking.
Or even if he is playing in the Saka position, and the Saka comes to the Odegaard position,
can Saka do that though?
No. You see, I prefer
Wanyeri. But we are looking at the situation where get Odegaard out of the game
and change the approach. Okay, Wanyeri is more direct. He's better in the half spaces. If he picks the ball, and you see, I think he has a bit more awareness with bodies around him. When he picks the ball surrounded by players, he can maneuver a bit better than Saka. Saka needs to pick the ball in space and then run at you. He's better at that. But if Wanyeri is in the half space and they were putting the passes into him, he's a bit more direct. He can pick it up. He has a bit more
spatial
awareness. Can deliver the passes. He has a good shooting left foot. He can dribble. He can do not to if Odegaard is
he gave the ball how many minutes? It wasn't 8 minutes.
Small, like last few minutes. Took the guy off. But that was the issue for me. Because in as much as I admit that Arsenal were at 60%, they didn't play the best of football.
Yeah, they were not.
They were still able to show
that
the weaknesses
in the PSG
team. And I have been seeing in this PSG team. Now let me tell you what is going to happen on Wednesday.
Banoba wo walk ya.
Oh, quick!
On Wednesday we will talk about.
Banoba wo walk ya.
Wednesday we'll
party.
Party. We'll do the preview for that.
Banoba wo walk.
So you want to chip it in straight out.
Let's see, there.
Charlie. Banoba wo walk ya. Banoba wo walk ya. Party. Banoba will walk.
Okay.
Do you understand the meaning of that?
Upon Benjamin from a foot to Cape Coast.
Come carry us to the destination party.
Party.
Look, this is what is going to happen on Wednesday.
Somebody's watching for Altani.
Shake.
Altani.
Shake.
Watching from the land of Altani. That'll be Qatar.
Let me cut that.
Yeah, man.
Shake Altani.
All right, so this one new reading house says I'm at work in Canada and my boss is wondering why I'm laughing. Sicho, say hi to Danny K for me. I'll be dropping in Ghana in June. I have a gift for the three of you. I love you.
Yo, what's the name of the guy? What's the name of the guy?
Reading house.
Nudino Dende. Oh, Dende. Nudino Dende. Oh, Dende. Nudino Dende. Oh, Dende. Nudino Dende. Oh, Dende.
You say they Canada?
Yeah, say they Canada.
Yeah, we talk for XDM inside.
Oh, great.
Okay.
He said, Charlie, make a highlight for him.
Believe the podcast.
Yeah,
Charlie,
Charlie, make a highlight for him,
Nudi.
man.
So,
Charlie.
Nudi, you be big man, oh. You see the fans,
that guy.
so you for show up.
Set
Nudi Dende. Oh, Dende. Nudi Dende. Oh, Dende. Nudi Dende. Oh.
This one be from said Apia Kubi said the best sports podcast ever. Enjoying live from Cambridge, Canada.
Like, you know, correct. This thing, is sports podcast.
This one says Kwabena Kante says live from Pakistan. Hey, Ghana, we there everywhere.
Come on,
Are you?
boy.
Yeah, Kwabena they say
I
Ghanaian.
can't trouble to me. Pakistan.
Pakistan, Charlie. It's more there.
All
All right, this one says Eric Asari says we don't have lights, but still, Mallam Go is giving us light. Coach,
Thank you.
we don't have lights that in your area. Oh. Call ECG for us.
Oh,
Nana Phil says live from Bolgatanga. You guys are superb.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. And then this one is Chairman Chairman Fritz says podcast mu ECG. You will put control everywhere.
thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
all right. Okay, this one is from live from Luxembourg. Okay, this one Stepper. Coach in Shudia, MVM. Live from Luxembourg.
Oh, now,
the best podcast.
This one, it be slip on.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
correct.
Quick.
Very, very comfortable and easy to carry around or walk
course.
around.
On
So
your toes.
Luxembourg, woo, yeah, in Luxembourg, it's a lovely place. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen.
Peaceful.
They've got incredible landscape, but it's incredibly expensive.
Charlie.
Like people leave Belgium.
Wait, that's Sweden, eh?
No, Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Okay. There's a
Luxembourg.
country.
Yeah, Luxembourg. So people leave
The one with Ronaldo is he scored in 5.
5 and 10. No, like people leave and they pay very well those who work there. So people leave the neighboring European countries,
The
Belgium,
Scandinavian country.
yeah, Belgium and people leave France via train. They'll come and work there, and then so by 4:35
They go back.
the entire country is almost empty. The population is so small. Very few people live in Luxembourg,
Wow.
but a lot of people come there to work. It's almost like Geneva in Switzerland, also very expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
But during the day, people come
A lot
in
of
there to
people
work
there.
and then they exit. Like you're gonna buy a watch in Switzerland, of course. And when you get to Switzerland, the top watches, all of them, they are there. Like you can see them at the water. Like the top, if the watch brand is not there, it's not top.
They're not rich.
But the same one that you buy in Switzerland for say some 18K, if you go to Italy or if you go to even Belgium, you might even find the same quality maybe at times on the market for 5K.
Wow.
Because that is Switzerland.
Branding.
Yeah, I mean,
Branding.
everybody's rich.
And
It's
the
rich.
chocolates too.
Yeah, like everybody's got
That's
dough.
where
They
they-
pay well, they live
Some
well.
of the African leaders too have been taken out.
So, the Switzerland in Luxembourg, like some of the most expensive places I've ever been.
Steelers.
Too expensive. Water surf for the buy for and the vex. Yeah, too expensive.
They are thieves. They are stealers.
Danny, back to you.
Yeah.
So you want to go to what will happen?
Yeah. I
next
think
Wednesday?
he should go in, then I come back. Then we'll go to the Barcelona.
Brilliant. All right, let's do that.
What is going to happen is
Wait, I wanted to.
there's an
Okay, so
area.
you talk about what was happening on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I love something about PSG.
Okay.
Give me some 5 minutes.
Fire away.
Because it's very similar to, and Arsenal should look at that because it's very similar to what also PSG did in that game at Anfield. Eventually, ending the goal, and they've been doing it, but sometimes they get goals from it, will create troubles. It's Dembele's positioning,
Yeah.
and when they played against Liverpool at Anfield, it resulted in a goal. The way he would come short into the middle of the park, and no centre back really wants to come that far.
No.
And Dembele takes the ball. There's no pressure on him because PSG deliberately engage all your midfield players to afford him the space.
So between the lines, he's free.
He's free. He takes the ball, he turns. And in the game against Liverpool, send the ball wide. A cross comes in. Konate can't defend it well. And then he gets the follow-up. It was very similar to the goal they scored early on against, or the only goal we saw in the game. I'm trying to put it on this board and see if you can see it. Now, when they were building up from the back, they looked like this. They looked like the three from the goal, right? From the goal, they look this three. 1, 2, 3. PSG's back line.
Okay.
That is virtually how Arsenal were matching PSG.
They had a 4-3-3.
Yeah, and this would be Vitinha. And I think Odegaard's job was to breathe on Vitinha and stay on him, because normally he would drop somewhere here, help in the build-up, but Odegaard was supposed to go to him. Now, Vitinha, knowing that Odegaard was going to do that job, came further. Straight away, there's space here.
Yeah.
So now, and because of Hakimi's position, so this is Martinelli, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere here. But because of Hakimi's position, there's a problem with Martinelli also not wanting to overcome it. So he's staying here so he can come back and then come and help. Now, when you look at Arsenal's two centre-backs, at the time the build-up was starting, this is Arsenal's two centre-backs. Dembele is somewhere here. No real trouble. The boy is here. But it's a pass that comes to Nuno Mendes or Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes. Like, I got that pronunciation from FIFA. Yeah, when I'm using Portugal.
Fantastic.
Obviously for my love, because of my love for Ronaldo. As the ball gets to Nuno Mendes, this run was a problem. Fabian Ruiz. Now, what happened in the middle of the park for Arsenal and of course PSG was that Joao Neves, remember Vitinha is here with Odegaard. Joao Neves, he is pinning down Declan Rice. And then Merino is being pinned down by Fabian Ruiz. Yeah. But as Nuno Mendes gets this ball, Fabian Ruiz starts making this run. Because two things, and Timber obviously can't go anywhere because of who's hugging the line by this point. As soon as the ball gets to Nuno Mendes, Fabian Ruiz starts making a run around Merino. And he has to track him back. Yeah. Again, taking him further back. Timber comes this way. But what Nuno Mendes does is, he's not going to look for this pass. He's not going to look for the run of him. Dembele comes here into the circle.
Into that empty space.
Because by this time, Odegaard is here.
They're all engaged.
Declan Rice is engaged. And then Nuno Mendes picks this pass to him. As soon as he picks this pass, he turns. He's able to turn because, again, like I said, no centre-back loves to come here.
Yeah.
And Arsenal centre-backs don't defend this aggressive. They'll pass you on to you.
They'll pass you on.
They'll pass you on. As soon as he turns, Declan Rice leaves his man and tries to cover this space. Arsenal centre-backs are busy here. Then, this movement from Fabian Ruiz takes his man into this space. Dembele, of course, is good on his left, so he cuts the ball back and then he finds Kvaratskhelia here with the ball. But this is where I agree with Coach when he says maybe if Partey is in the game, the goal doesn't happen. As the ball gets to him, Timber wants to engage. Remember that Declan Rice, by that time, has left his man to come and press him. For a moment, he was with Dembele. For a moment, he was with Dembele. As soon as the ball gets to Kvaratskhelia and he was pushing the ball into the box, Declan Rice left Dembele, and for good reason. For good reason. He left him to come and double up.
Yeah.
Because when you leave him 1v1 with Timber, he can kill him. He can kill him. So he leaves Dembele to come in. And by this time, Arsenal are a bit deeper. And by this time, there are runs here. And then there are movements here. As soon as Dembele sends the ball right, and he realizes that his man is pushing the ball, and Declan Rice is going to double up here, Dembele takes a very quick turn and looks over his shoulder and sees the goalkeeper's positioning. And sees the position in which he is. And he knows that here around the edge of the box,
that is the goal.
He can find the shot. Yeah. And it was that quick glance that I thought gave him the presence of mind of what he could do if the pass arrived. So as soon as the ball came, one time. So that is credit to Dembele. But quickly, Kvaratskhelia also realizes that Dembele is free. He passes the ball to his man. What could have happened here was, maybe, I don't know for sure, but with the experience of Partey, he probably is not engaging as close as this. But it's engaging the way that cuts.
Cover shadow.
You see,
what
Partey would have done was to come and engage Timber for them to engage Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
Partey is clearly much aware of that, the zone.
So he will stand somewhere.
He will stand somewhere.
So when you dribble, he can come in.
And rather he would rather have communicated to the other centre back. What's his name?
Kivio.
No, Saliba is here.
Saliba to play as a defensive line cover to Timber.
So you are shouting at. So Partey will be shouting at. Will be shouting at Solanke.
He will be shouting at
Timber. Shows him to cut in.
Saliba
is there.
And Partey marks the zone. Stay within the zone. That is what the DMs will do.
Or I'm also thinking that even if Rice wants to help, he doesn't have to come as close as he's
there. That's right. He shouldn't come as close as to.
If Rice is somewhere here, he's cover shadowing
Rice tactically shouldn't have even moved his body out of the arc.
Yeah.
He should have come and stood in the arc. And hand
2 seasons ago, the Premier League sat down with Rodri. And he said the basic thing of a DM.
That's right.
He said every goal is scored from the central point.
Yes, that's right.
The ball eventually comes to the central point.
So
his job is not to engage out wide. His job
is to protect that zone.
That central point. And that's what they do. So they know that even once it's wide, the guy will by all means
he'll cut back.
By all means, you
cut back. When you said that if Partey played in the game, that goal doesn't happen.
And we saw that several times against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
He was when Partey didn't go to engage, but he will allow Saliba or Kivio to play as the defensive line cover to the fullback. Then he marks this. So when the ball comes into the zone, then he goes and then he steps in.
Yeah.
And for me, look, this is a perfect description of what happened. And you've actually nailed it. So again, it's the lack of awareness. Maybe Declan Rice of late, we saw him at West Ham, where he was deployed as a DM throughout. Then along the line, West Ham started pushing him forward.
Yeah.
So he might have forgotten
the
rudiments.
That thing comes with experience and a certain level of experience.
You see, to be fair to him, that DM job he was doing at West Ham initially, it was a stopper.
Yeah, it was a stopper job.
It was a stopper job. He wasn't
no controller.
He wasn't a controller. So he doesn't. That's why I say he can do a decent job. You remember the start of last season
at the Euros, even at the Euros,
he can do a decent job, but he can't do it to the ability of the
natural.
And at this level, Champions League semi-final,
you need specialists.
You need a specialist.
So what I was trying to say is, whatever happens, PSG have done this throughout the Champions League.
We saw it against Liverpool.
Against Liverpool. Like we've seen it doesn't always turn out to be a goal, but whatever happens, they are good at engaging your midfielders to free Dembele or this guy, Nuno Mendes and Hakimi.
Yeah.
Because Nuno Mendes and Hakimi are good at getting into spaces where again your laterals won't go there. Like they'll come into the half space. This guy can be here, and at times Fabian Ruiz will be the one. Like Fabian Ruiz will be the one protecting, and then Nuno Mendes can be here. So Arsenal, we are expecting, especially at home.
Yes.
I'm just saying that is one of the things that Arsenal fans and
we'll have to look
should be
at. But
expecting.
you see, there's a huge. Just a second. All right, there's a huge weakness in PSG when they push their fullbacks or their wings.
Fire away. That's where I was getting to.
There's a huge weakness,
especially
these three guys. This guy's side, Hakimi.
Yeah.
So what Arsenal failed to do actually was to get that player who, after winning the ball, can deliver the pass into the space. Because Martinelli, you saw tactical was not dropping too deep. And he was always going to fancy himself, in the absence of Hakimi, running at Marquinhos.
Yes. Yeah.
So at least this is something that Arteta will have to watch and watch. And once the Ghanaian is coming back, he's got the ability to pick those passes.
Sir, please, can I tell you what will happen on Wednesday?
Take it away, boss.
Sir, please. Arsenal will win. And when I'm saying win, in all the metrics, Arsenal's game plan will be spot on. And they'll win in terms of XG. The goals they'll create. Barring any unforeseen VR intervention. Because we know that guy in the back room, he can be a problem. So if there's no funny penalty decision or some red card, if it stays 11v11, Arsenal will beat PSG in terms of XG. It will be down to finishing. If PSG qualify, this guy, Donnarumma, will be man of the match.
Why are you so confident?
Oh, the thing, we see the match long time ago.
Show us what you've seen.
You guys were saying,
please let's find a way to get this illustration
PSG team. You were saying this PSG team, no, it's a different PSG team from the group stages.
I think so. From the league phase, yes.
The only thing that has changed, which is, to be frank, it's a significant change in terms of offensive.
Is the role of Dembele. That's all.
But stylistically, in terms of principles, they say.
But its application is a lot better. The application of the principles and the style. They struggled in the league phase.
To be frank,
but the application is now top.
It's better.
Yeah.
But the antidote remains the same. The ball, no. Who played on the floor? Arsenal versus PSG. Aston Villa versus PSG.
Why didn't Arsenal do that?
We are not going to
at
play it
Emirates?
on the.
Why
That's
didn't
why I say
Arsenal do that at
Arteta
Emirates?
should have altered the style because you've
Arteta
done
should
it
have
before.
altered
That first game at the Emirates, the 2-0 in the group stages, Arsenal bullied.
Yeah, I remember that.
They bullied.
PSG couldn't cope with anything.
They
Arsenal,
couldn't
like
cope.
they couldn't like there was like boys and men. It was
Aston
serious. It
Villa
was that
against
bad.
PSG
We
from
saw.
the 35th minute
In that
to when
second
they
leg.
sacked Rashford. They were bullying. They were not playing the ball on the floor.
No.
You can't play the ball on the floor and outdo them. 5-5, 5-4, 5-3. If you lift the ball small, it's over for them.
Especially those three guys in the
Those
middle.
three guys in the middle, no, they are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, the only guy who's actually if like has a
Is-
bit of presence is Fabian Ruiz.
Look,
But
there,
Joao Neves and this thing, and Ruiz is not the quickest.
Yes.
Look, with Partey, this be Arsenal the man defense.
Yeah.
With
Please let's get close to the illustration so that Danny can see from the cameras.
so Timber, Saliba,
Yeah.
Kivio, Marskeli comes into midfield alongside Partey
Thomas, yeah.
in build-up. What it does
That's
is-
Merino starts ahead of Trossard.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, he starts. He's in the
starts.
box.
because
He's in the box.
Marquinhos,
The muy idiot. After 10 to strike out.
Only be. Say Antombia.
This one-
No, look, the muy idiot. Someone after 10 to
Say
strike out.
Antombia.
Wait, who's at La Pique?
we go back.
Say Obi anu awukakotono.
Boga! This thing is what Arsenal need. Partey. Because of the presence of Partey, the build-up automatically
Yeah.
is better.
Ebefa.
They have somebody who is press resistant.
Mm-hmm.
So PSG always commit bodies. We see it all the time. They will commit the bodies. But that weakness they have, this side, Hakimi, they be our
On the right hand side of the defense.
Hakimi is not going to sit back.
No, he's not in his nature.
No, he's not a
It's
fullback.
not even in his nature.
Oh, let me hear.
His manager.
You eat.
But Luis Enrique, I know him. Luis Enrique, me there.
Way back.
I mean, even my guy.
Your guy.
Luis Enrique. By all means, Hakimi will go.
Mm.
That is, if you even look at their build-up, he's supposed to.
He has to go
He has
to
go
to get that
to accommodate the back three. So Hakimi will go. But what Partey's, the introduction of Partey does, it allows Rice to be in this zone.
Yeah.
And what Rice does is, your friend LCM, left central midfield. He occupies this space.
Yeah. And he can also drive the ball forward.
Oh! Alongside Martinelli.
And that
we saw
keeps
them
Martinelli-
do it to Real Madrid.
Yes.
And Luis Kelly is confident to move away from Partey to join.
To join.
Yeah.
And you see, because of that, they don't even need to catch PSG in transition.
No.
This double team between Rice and your friend is-
Martinelli.
Martinelli will hack the touchline. So Martinelli automatically is giving
Draw one of the centre
Drawing
back away.
Marquinhos.
no, not Marquinhos. I'm saying from Arsenal's build-up. Not
Okay,
in
so
Maybe
transition.
that's-
not
that-
when
that-
so
okay,
as a
Hakimi will
drop-
be in position,
so Hakimi
yeah.
stays.
This isolation, no, once Rice has the freedom within this left zone, this guy's defensive awareness
He's suspect.
has always been an
sus-
issue.
it's
But
always
where does Vitinha or Joao Neves or Fabian Ruiz? I assume Joao Neves is the one who normally would play in that space.
You people say you know how to drop your striker into midfield.
Yeah.
Do you know Merino?
Complete.
natural-
Natural midfielder.
Wasa?
But Ejumalo,
A
man.
natural midfielder. So that, and again, Real Madrid, we saw it. Merino dropping into midfield to occupy whoever's job it would have been in the same, basically the
same way.
same idea that PSG used to beat Arsenal, where you basically lure the defensive midfielder out of position, creating the pocket of space for the attacker to occupy. It's the same idea.
The same idea.
By all means, Vitinha will not leave Merino because Merino no wasa, but technically he can pick the ball and turn, and he's
And we saw that
intelligent enough
those passes
to arrive.
Yeah.
So you need to have an.
And that's what the danger is when the person's arriving late.
He's arriving late.
Yeah. He's always
From
attacking the
from
ball.
midfield, yeah.
The only person in that back line who can handle him 1-for-1 is Paco.
Yeah.
But Arteta, we are not stupid. We are not going to place
You
him.
target
he
Marquinhos.
won't go to
We are
Paco.
targeting Marquinhos.
Yeah, targeting
The
Marquinhos.
whole game, no, we are targeting Marquinhos. What did Liverpool do? They put Darwin Núñez on Marquinhos.
Yes.
I think we've seen that, you know. So Paco, no, he is good, but he will be useless because there will be nobody for
You
him
have
to
to
pick.
bypass him. And if he
And
attempts
if he's
going
not
to
smart,
going
and he
to bail
attempts
out
to go
the spaces.
That is when, if Arteta listens to my advice and he starts Wanyeri, because if he starts Wanyeri, that's
Daniel
Saka
Iwanere is not starting.
and Wanyeri. then we have to fast and pray for Odegaard. Arsenal fans, we need to start fasting and praying for Odegaard.
Because Odegaard,
Like, it's not that simple for him to drop his captain.
we need him.
No, he's been
Look,
off.
we need
He's
Odegaard
been
in this
too
game.
off.
And it's got enough quality to switch it up.
Yes, but the thing, like, it's bad though. He can't even pass 5 years. What kind of captain is that? Huh? We need him to turn up.
He's just not taking the risk.
Or if, you see, my own is, you can start him. But if it's not working,
Quickly.
by halftime,
Quickly,
latest by
quickly.
50, 55 minutes, take him off.
Quickly.
Because what it does is that it spreads the threat. Against Real Madrid, yes, Arsenal like to focus on Saka's side. But that Rice Martinelli area, it says, look, it is equally as dangerous if you don't take care. And in terms of when they switch play,
Especially now that Odegaard and Saka's area is not
it's
clicking
not
as
clicking. So it spreads the threat. And I'm saying that if Wanyeri is introduced early, or if Odegaard soaks himself in the River Jordan, and he changes his attitude in 2025, in fact, he just needs to go, like, I need like 2 notches up. Just small sense. That's it. It's basically going to spread the threat. And what we'll see is that PSG will struggle defensively and they are going to alter. It's either they will drop their line a bit to accommodate. And once they drop their line, it will allow us now to dominate. Not dominate in terms of the numbers, but the control.
Yeah.
When Arsenal can decide when the game should be chaotic, they decide when they want to pass the ball around, like what they did to Madrid, like what they've been doing in the Champions League this whole season. Perfect game plan. But Hakimi, Marquinhos, that side, no. That's where the goals are going to come from. Aston Villa exposed it. Arsenal did it in the Champions League in the group stages this season. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Secondly, the
Even
plan B-
Liverpool, they just didn't.
It just didn't
take
work.
Yeah.
You know, click. The plan B is because Partey is playing, Merino can also now play his number 9 role.
Yeah, he can
So
engage them.
if push comes to shove and the tiki-taka passing slow build-up is not working, Arsenal can
Take it wide
go.
or go direct.
And when they are going, Merino, Rice can enter because Partey is there. Miles Lewis Kelly is there, comfortable. So Rice can have that boldness to also
push
enter,
up.
to push up. Martinelli will go. So there are men in the box who can do. We saw the third goal against Madrid. Look at the number of bodies in the box when Merino was hitting that shot. Commit. So as for PSG, I've seen their weaknesses. It's just that I knew the first leg it won't happen. But Partey, you go again.
See,
So you predicted that Arsenal are going to go through?
Luis Enrique. I know I'm going to show you the number.
like Enrique one bit.
I know. You watch.
Coach
you see, the master will be around.
Thomas,
I'm your boss.
obviously.
Quick.
Give the ball to me.
Give the ball
Stand
to me.
there.
Stand there.
Don't force it.
Don't force
Bring it back.
Mijun,
Saka, hold on. Don't go wide
respect
yet.
yourself.
Odegaard, come for
I
it.
decide
Take
where
it. Give
you
it
go.
to me.
Nakane.
I decide when to
Partey,
go.
hey, Saka, are you ready?
Stay there.
Take your
I'm
ball.
your boss. That's your boss. You understand? So look, we are not overblowing or in any way trumpeting Thomas Partey beyond measure. That's not what we are doing here. We saw that first leg. PSG had all their arsenals on display. Arsenal, in my view, was without that player that makes them thick.
Yeah, they have no other player who plays like him.
Like
He's
him.
irreplaceable in the team.
So Partey now comes back where they have to chase a deficit. I'm very much interested in the mentality of the Arsenal players. I hope, having gone to the Bernabeu to beat Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, what's the name of the PSG stadium? The
Parc des Princes.
Parc du Prince. We can change that to Parc du Queen. Oh, I'm telling you, Parc du what? Prince. We can make that Parc du Queen on the day. Because that stadium is not... Look, the Bernabeu was closed though.
They closed the roof.
They closed the roof.
But let's give credit to the PSG fans. They are also some of the
Oh,
most
No, they're all
intimidating.
dressed there, they
They are
sport
great. Like
They're
they
the sport
create
there.
incredible atmosphere.
they will sing.
Brilliant tifos.
But you see,
flares,
the stadium
all of
is
that.
open. So some of the noise will
Who
be
escape?
going
Who
outside.
escape?
Quick.
It's so contained.
That's right. When the stadium was closed,
Everything
stayed there.
What happens here?
That one
happens
safe.
here.
That one saved, they were able to back. It's about the mentality about the Arsenal play. And I like the way Arteta spoke after the game. He said it's half time, it's 50-50, it's still open. We did it at Madrid. There's no reason why we can't go there and do it.
Arteta.
That is how you should speak.
They can't give
As
space.
a
When
manager.
the fans bring them a boot, then since under 3 minutes,
You
the fans
understand?
throw them a boots away from the stadium.
So-
Let's support them again.
So, you see, I am so much. Daniel has dealt with the tactical side of the
But
game.
you think it's going to go down to
Look, mental toughness.
And the approach from
And
the
the
beginning.
yeah.
What they need to do is not to say because we are down.
We start.
No, you don't.
I
do
agree
that.
absolutely completely.
Just
'Cause it's
Make sure-
it's one goal.
you stay in the game for as long as possible. If it stay 0-0 after 70 minutes, 75,
You can take
if
from there.
Arsenal get booted out of the tournament after 75 minutes, I'll clap for them. After all, if it ends 0-0, they are stay out.
Yeah.
So, what is there to protect? If you are already exiting, whether you like it or not, you need to risk. And by risking, two things: it either pays off, or you pay the price for it. So at that stage, I would give them every benefit of the doubt. Every benefit of the doubt. Why such a thing may happen to them. But if they go and they concede like they conceded on Wednesday or on last week Tuesday, look, I'm going to be pissed off. So control the game and take the steam. PSG are so much aware. Per their DNA, they want to impose themselves. But that is where DK spoke about the fact that it's not all the time you play it on the turf. What is this PSG's team's weakness? They don't fancy the physical battle. They don't. They've never fancied it. So even in midfield, that Portuguese small boy and the other Vitinha, they're two
Portuguese boys.
They are kiddies.
5'5" and 5'3".
5'5" and 5'3". So if it's Partey and Declan Rice, before Rices decide to join the attack, let them feel a bit of the sensation in their spines. In their spines.
Sensation.
You understand?
Sensational.
When you meet them in the tackle, they should enter them.
Quick.
Not the one that will give you yellow card.
No.
Asawa. Masawa no konemu.
Sensational.
Konemu. Now there's a present. See, when they know there's a present, somebody is present there.
They will behave
They
themselves.
will
Respect.
behave themselves.
Right.
Look, exploit the spaces that will be vacated by those two wing backs. Saka. If Arsenal needs to win this, if they will have to win this, then Saka in Cranton will have to put out one of his best performances.
Saka.
No two.
What a player.
Look, he have to put out one of his best performances because with the coming in of the Ghanaian, he's going to see a bit more of the ball. Because the Ghanaian has got the ability, the technique,
see,
the know-how,
the pack-
and the intelligence.
The Park the Queen.
The Park the Queen.
The Park the Queen is bigger.
It's bigger.
There's more space.
There's more
Oh,
space.
sir, Charlie. Saka.
You understand? Saka. You understand? You have to do that.
Saka. What a player.
But see, having said this, one thing that Arsenal also need to look at is the fact that they need to defend properly too.
Yeah.
Because look, it is the quality of the defending.
I didn't really enjoy Saliba and Kiwior the last time. I'm getting the high praises when they played against
Against
Charlie,
Roma.
Krodo
They look-
update. Dembele go play the game. I need to
they've
send
been
somebody
quiet.
to France.
They've been quiet.
I need to send
They've been
somebody to
quiet.
France.
They've been very quiet on
They need to
on
inject-
Dembele's injury.
somebody
should
inject his-
Yes.
They've been very quiet.
So, look,
Allah.
No, you go
If
worry.
Carlo Ramos play Arsenal 5-0.
No, like go play Bakola do it then.
You understand?
So,
So,
look,
look,
No, but that would mean that Duego can't play the middle, down the middle. The Bakola.
Due-
Banwe
talk about that boy
Kwe.
soon.
Is it-
Ina!
Welcome, bro. So,
Banwe Kwe.
Achu had an assignment. He's done with the assignment. He joins us on the pod. We've been having fun with several people from people are watching from Pakistan, Iraq. People are watching from all over the world.
Be holiday for Pakistan too.
No. People are working and they are watching like people are working.
Banwe
So
Kwe.
for you, Arsenal are going to go through. if they do the things you and Danny have said.
If they score the first goal,
that's another one too.
they'll go through. I think if they score the first goal, they'll go through.
through.
If they restore parity, and before the game kickstarts all over again, at 1-1, I think they go through.
Okay, so then I think Arsenal go through. I think though,
Walanule eje banu inke mon fiamo ni kuma yobo banu ekoe walenule pati banu. You understand that one? Do you understand?
Coach, how will I understand?
You see,
Tell us.
it's like, come and drink some.
This guy, if you do by the fireside.
By the fireside, do you understand that one? Oh, Charlie.
Come and drink some.
Come and drink it.
If you are thirsty, the water of life on Wednesday
Streams of living water.
is Thomas Partey.
Pate.
Banwe walanule eje banu inke mon fiamo ni kuma yobo walanule pati banu.
I think though, that PSG will go.
Don't think, Masa. Don't
Why
think.
you talk? You
No, he
Don't
can't.
think.
That,
You
that's
shouldn't
him.
think anything,
That's him.
Masa. This guy, he lies some things. Oh. This guy.
Let him think.
I
now.
know him. Oh.
That you thought.
No. I said I didn't think. Don't think.
Kasabe.
Kasa-
So what Kasabe? No. I think that PSG will go through
That's right.
because Aston Villa's and I agree with you, the way Aston Villa played, PSG struggled to do with that. But that was at the Villa Park. So it's quite different. I don't think Arsenal will go to the Emirates, to the Parc des Princes and exert themselves in that way. I think Arsenal, and we've said it, they can't start the game like we are losing, so we have to win. And that is where my fear is. And again, I'm also afraid that if they start the game like they want to win, they can collapse. But the fact that they won't start the game that they want to win could very much simply play into the hands of PSG because they will completely control that game, right? I think PSG in France will control the game. Thomas is back, it's important for Arsenal. But PSG will know how to kill tempos of the game in France. And more so, we saw the problem that a player like Kevin Stella was causing to Timber. He kept drawing fouls from Timber, like continuously drawing fouls from him. And you mentioned it. The pitch at Parc des Princes looks bigger. I've not checked the dimension, but when I've seen it on TV, it looks bigger. That there's more space. And that is where PSG play their best football at times. Because normally the distance between... And when, coach, you know this better. When teams are defending, they like to keep a certain gap between maybe the right back and the centre back close to him and their centre back.
Yeah.
For them, it's not how far the winger is. It's how compact the middle is. And he spoke about how Rodri describes the goal normally comes from the middle. So the distance from the fullback to go and close down the winger will look like will be bigger.
Wow.
But when you give that if you allow the PSG wingers to smell the
sweet
grass,
aroma,
to smell that grass, double up on them, they will dribble, they will draw like they're that good. And at the moment they are playing that way.
as for Due, somebody will give him a knock one of these days.
I mean, says mentor is Neymar. If you can't say why Neymar the headset and the day is 32.
He can't even run without doing catch.
Charlie, if I do something,
Simple pass. If I do something,
so
He enjoying body.
yeah, and
knock him,
again,
you nonsense.
and again, and he spoke about if Rice would do what do we think he would do? Go into that left CM role, which works very well for Arsenal. And Lewis Kelly would have to venture across to join Thomas Partey. Again, I think again it feeds into what PSG can do on the offense. Because then Dembele has two options. Dembele can drop to occupy Lewis Kelly, or Dembele can shift to combine with whoever is playing on that side, which stretches the other defender.
Also,
So
on
I don't
that
think-
point that you just made, just to add
Yeah, please go on.
we haven't seen Arsenal in this current iteration that has Lewis Kelly making those runs into the middle of the pitch. We haven't seen them have to deal with any winger or threat on the right side in the mold of Dembele. So
Yeah.
we're not sure how they would.
Or in this case, let's say we
Dembele
do it
de
on
Agana
back
and
corner.
Krodo.
Yeah.
Dembele has been Krododized.
So,
Hey, I saw.
no,
He's been Krododized.
No, yeah,
He didn't train yesterday.
and if I think they're wrapping him in a cotton wool.
Yeah.
I think so because, and if that happens, if Arsenal play the way we think they will play, I think it plays into PSG's style also a little bit.
No, I think Arsenal have to remind themselves that they are an English team.
Yeah,
And therefore,
Back to
bring
basics.
back
Yeah.
the basic English game.
yeah.
I think they'll win.
So it's two things.
When Man United beat them, you remember when we had Lukaku and it won't get the ball no bam.
Yeah,
And Arsenal, Man United, remember that game were always winning the second ball. When it went to Lukaku and
Tomine!
Marcel, then Tomine will run to go and pick the second ball. They give it to Rashford. They play long shot. Then before we pull back, then Lukaku bam.
yeah. And so I think that if Arsenal play the way we think they will play, it actually makes PSG style also looks very good. So it ultimately come down to whose style will be more efficient, taking chances. And the only other reason why I think PSG will go through is the form of Donnarumma. Some of the saves this guy's been pulling off raw recently is crazy. Like he's in the form of it. He's not Euro 2001, 2021 form. You know,
Yeah, the
and
one that won
the Euros. So I think I think PSG will go through. I think the way they play and the way Arsenal plays, especially the second half as we expected, I feel say some way for Arteta. Actually, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you came at the right time.
Yeah.
We looked at that Arsenal PSG game. So yeah,
He's missed that one. He should go to the Barcelona one. That's what he wants to talk
But I was
about.
here when you were talking about it.
No, we had finished. We've looked at
Yeah.
the
Me,
game.
I'm not done. Thank
So-
you. But me, I'm not done.
so
Arteta. Oh my coach.
So the tie is lost.
the tie is lost.
It's lost.
Okay, actually, so take some minutes, a couple of them, and
Arsenal
and tell
lost
us why.
the tie
Yeah.
in the opening 20 minutes. Because I've been trying to wrap my head around that performance, and it doesn't make sense to me. And it was not because of Thomas Partey. The goal they conceded, if Partey is on that pitch, perhaps Dembele doesn't have that space.
Of course.
Or Partey occupies that zone. That is not in that, because that is his job definition. That is what Partey does. But the overall performance of Arsenal in that opening 20 minutes, and they never really controlled PSG from there on. Yes, they grew back into the game, but PSG was still finding hot spots, right, in different areas of the pitch. What happened and for me, the reason I'm taking a lot from that was that everything PSG did is everything they've done since November. That sort of starts.
Actually, give me a second. So, we have a lovely listener. I don't know where he's listening from, but he says that this is the most unprofessional analysis I've heard in my entire life. How can you do one-sided analysis without even talking about Arsenal weak points, but only PSG? PSG's own very funny. Okay, so that is from our good listener who's listening. Not sure. Please let us know where you're
But
listening
I'm not sure he's been.
We appreciate.
He was listening.
I'm not sure you listened from the start, but that's fine. We like all,
fine.
the reason I'm reading this one is we've read all their praises, but we like to hear the criticisms as well.
What's the person's name?
So the person says that it's the most
No, the
unprofessional.
person's name.
Oh, James Robinson Dankwa. Yeah, I'm sure he's a very good listener. And some of our followers are going back and forth with him there. That you should go and listen to his professional. I mean, everybody's
No, but at the
free
end
to
of the
drop their
day,
opinions. So
We have spoken about the absence of Thomas Partey and the problem it created in the Arsenal setup.
and what he solves
And what he solves and all that.
And to be fair,
And of course, Arsenal inability not to wake up. I criticize Arteta for not doing the right things when the team conceded the goal. Instead of him turning to the supporters to do that, he should have rather calmed down the nerves of his
no,
players.
coach, we've gone through that.
We've gone through
we don't
that.
have to.
So you've not been listening from the...
No, but even aside that, I just think it's opinions.
Yeah, it's
right?
opinion.
It's
So
opinions.
he's free to
and
have
we
that.
love all of every opinion on the podcast. We chat. You do the listening. We don't judge. You judge.
We listen.
We listen. We don't judge. So keep your thoughts. We read your comments. We don't judge. I mean, I barely even reply on it. So please keep your thoughts.
It is
coming.
what it is. Look,
It is what it is.
I was going through the numbers for that. Arsenal's passing accuracy for that opening half
Yeah.
was 64.9%. It is the lowest of any of the semi-finalists all season. from the first half.
Charlie Fence did the comment section.
What did they do for
What did they do for them?
He has time on his hands today.
You don't see the comments. You said today I'm joining the comment section to tackle the people who like
I'm
tackling
joining the
us.
comment section to tackle people who likes tackling us. First, you fool. You fair flames
He has time on his hands today.
Fool, man.
And you know that 64.9% is the lowest of any of the semi-finalists in this season's competition. Even for Arsenal, Arsenal's average passing accuracy in the first half is 83.
That was bad, Charlie.
That has
Far
nothing
below.
to do with Thomas Partey. So yes, Partey would have stopped that goal.
Can it?
But in terms
hang
of
on that point.
But Partey would have
Can it
got
not
it then
also
to
do
keep
with
the
Thomas?
ball.
It's almost like we're saying Real Madrid this season don't keep the ball enough. They don't pass the ball around enough. Everybody's running 100 miles.
Partey in the
hour.
Arsenal team passes
If
the ball,
Partey has the ball, can he
sees
not
the ball
circulate it
more than
better,
any other player.
Take his team.
So Partey gives the team control.
Yes.
But he doesn't determine the passing accuracy. He can determine his. Do you get what the point I'm making?
No, but a controller
With him, they keep the ball better. So it means
the
there will
passes
be-
are better.
Thank you.
Because when he passes, he actually gives you a pass that leads you to
You
the
remember?
next one.
You remember what I said? Respect yourself. I'm your boss.
See, I get that.
Don't go here. This is
see-
where you need to be.
you see-
All those things helps them to keep the ball.
You see,
Right.
I get that.
Actually, please go on.
I'm saying that very often when Arsenal, and I'll take you back to last season, when Partey wasn't always playing, right? The team still found a way to play.
Jorginho.
Now, when they, I'm coming, when they build up and they get into the final third, and I'm coming to the issue of why I wanted Odegaard to sit on the bench. I said that the last time.
Yeah,
That
that's why I said that.
That's why
We've
I
addressed
said I
that.
can't- So for me, the fact that, and you see, all the issues were known. Arteta knew what he had going into the game. He knew how PSG sets up, how they've started. And I said it here that PSG will not go into that game and they will and give Arsenal control of the game. They will dominate Arsenal
They want
with or without Partey. And for me, the fact that they were playing at home and still could not exert that level of control in that game, for me, it was problematic. It was not a question of nerves. It was purely tactical.
So then it was because their controller was not there. So it's about Partey.
There is that. I've admitted that. But I'm also saying that the issue goes beyond him,
I understand.
right? Because Arsenal are the team that are used to, and we speak so much about their rest defense. What we saw on Tuesday was Arsenal failing to deal with PSG's press. And the other side of it, I was looking at the numbers, because in the first half, it looked very much like Arsenal were either lazy or they were not running enough. But actually, they ran a lot. I checked the numbers and they ran 6 kilometers more than PSG, except much of it was headless running. So when PSG had the ball and they were knocking the ball into the right zones, they would chase it, but they were struggling to get possession, to wrestle back control of the
And
game.
when they got the ball, there was a quick turnover.
Yes.
That was where
the
then
controller.
That's the
So
controller.
For me,
But you know my position on the Partey issue in the game against Real Madrid, especially the second, where I said even though he offers something that nobody offers in the team, he wasn't the best player. But I feel like, and that I still stand by that. But I feel like in this very game, if we talk about the control, the lack of it, I think if in the end it falls on, it's like Man City this season, they flagged control and flow and direction when they have the ball. I think again it matters with Rodri.
I get that. For me, I'm just saying that because if we are talking passing accuracy in the final third or in the opponent's half, it sets with sustaining attacks. It sets with building momentum. It sets with your style of attacking, not just in how you, because
So it wasn't everything that was a Partey problem.
No, so the control bit is opponent has it. You want to play at your own pace. That makes sense. But when you move into the second, third phase of the attack, that is no longer with your controller.
It has to do
Yes,
with
that
those
has to
guys
do with
up front.
inventiveness, the cohesiveness that your players have amongst themselves. You are taking risks and all of that. But when there is about a 20% drop off in passing accuracy, something massively has gone off. And for me, watching that game, I was happy with the results and the outcome for one reason. A lot of people seem to have assumed that the same PSG, or they are very reluctant to accept that this is a very different PSG from the one Arsenal beats.
No, it's very clear.
It's very different team.
Yeah.
Even the one that Arsenal beat, Dembele was suspended by the coach. So that was a match.
he was
that-
dropped.
He was dropped. Lee
And it was
Kangin-
since that game that Dembele
Lee Kangin had to start. And I think, look, they've shown the
Hey,
maturity.
that guy, he dey take kung fu dribble.
By
In the ball.
The Japanese player.
No.
Yeah.
See, that guy,
The four.
if he dey dribble, if he do the master, I swear, I don't joke. I swear. Hey, everybody go watch out.
The defender
But you can't even coach. Look, you say Japan. If you do good, they can't fight. If you can't do good,
he's good. It's just unfortunate that the wingers are just better. The other options.
Yeah.
Look, he's still a really good player. And for me, that second half and the way PSG handled it, they've matured.
Top notch.
They've answered every question about that Aston Villa performance because they stayed in the game. Yes, you will talk about the saves Donnarumma made, but by the same token, PSG could have won that game 3-0 or 4.
2-3-0.
Raya made a brilliant save of Desiree Doué.
Are we going to pretend as if Donnarumma didn't make?
But I've mentioned...
No, he said that.
Yes, no, you are saying 2-3. Why are you removing that?
I said Donnarumma made 2 brilliant saves, right? And I think of those, the really impressive one was the second one.
The Trossard one.
Because Martinelli, he opened up his body for him to see that he's bending into that side end. But even still, that chance, Mbappe scores near post or gives it elevation.
We saw Mbappe. He got the same chance. He wasted it.
Oh, but 9 out of 10 chances, you know he'll
Don't mention them. They've been butchered out too.
Look, the way they
are going trophy.
The way they controlled the second half of that game, rode out the Arsenal Storm and had their own chances. Look, somebody go handle like you allow.
Very, very foolish boy.
Yeah.
He said, this Mallam scra. Can you move on and talk about my darling Chelsea? My darling club Chelsea. We didn't ask Achu to be late. You guys should be professional. Because of offend you today, we are not talking about Chelsea.
Thank you very much.
So Achu, yes.
You should apologize in the comment section.
So in conclusion, I have every confidence that those 2 misses by Charlie Boy needs to be serious.
Bakola.
No, but it was offside.
He wouldn't know that. He wouldn't know that.
He was offside.
No, he didn't know that.
On the replay, he was
scored. He would have been offside.
But he didn't know that.
That's the thing. The attack concluded.
No, that's what I'm saying. That even if he scored,
Yeah, but what are you saying?
You score.
He didn't know he was offside.
you the time tells the guy, son. You think Bakola? What is it, the bench?
But you know, so Bakola, make a tell you something. Bakola, if you make a believable, as we they play game.
Bakola!
Bakola! Bakola!
And then the second one, Gonzalo Ramos. Abba.
Yeah.
Hey, Agolu.
Abba.
I think he didn't. He almost didn't believe that.
I like
when
Rasmus Højlund like that. Agolu, 1-on-1 keeper.
Hey, no more play pass and make a mess.
Agolu.
Make it no break.
Finish.
See, the thing is that
we know
Højlund doesn't get to that chance.
You see,
you won't make that run.
You won't make that
Oh,
run.
Bogus. You know about what I talk. See, okay, let me
Ramos,
relax. Make her ask.
But-
No, don't be saying the best. Don't be saying the best. No, relax. No. I know I'm. Ramos, I know I'm. Make her. I want to ask the viewers and the listeners 2 simple questions before we go. 2 quick ones. First off, do you prefer a striker in your team who can make the runs? Like when he is there, you know they see. In fact, simple these things. Rasmus Højlund, you are saying he wouldn't have made the run, or a Morata like Nicholas Jackson, who is always getting into the right positions but can't score. Which one is worse?
I like the Morata like Nicholas Jackson because
it can be
there is hope.
Yes.
There's hope for what?
There's
Those
hope
people
that
they don't change. Oh, those people they don't change.
So you have hope that Rasmus will start running.
No, I don't have hope. What I'm saying is that if you're a striker,
I want the Morata because even his run can stretch the team, the opponent.
Højlund. Agolu.
Make a tell something about Højlund. I know somebody will deviate.
The second question is that chance you saw Gonzalo Ramos. No?
Yes.
Gano, we Jimiana. That's the question. No. Gano, we Jimiana. I 1-on-1 Ago. Can you play Agolu?
Oh, but I hit by nice.
Happy rough.
See,
Now the
he
fear.
finished. He turned around and looked as if he's surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
You don't offside. You see, you missed some chance. You made the flag go there. You toss
Offside,
over there.
offside. Ago.
Now let's talk about that game then. It's a crazy game.
Yeah.
At the Montjuic on the hills of Barcelona. Hansi Flick's side and Simone Inzaghi's side played out a 3-3 draw. Inter took a 2-goal lead. Barcelona came back. Inter went ahead again. Barcelona pulled it back again. And it was an exciting game. One of the best Champions League semi-final games you would see anywhere. Which also leaves that game very much alive. Actually, I start with you. 3-3, what a game that was. And what do you see coming up in that second leg? We've got 20 minutes to do this one, so I'm sharing I'm sharing 5 minutes for everybody.
We are wicked.
And then
Made us talk. When coach was saying that we finished with that game, you made us
would have
spend
been,
another 30
very
minutes
unfair on
That'd be
Ina.
very unfair.
One of the
Very
texters said nobody said it should be late.
It was
The
20.
parable, parable of the bridesmaids.
This one, I'm taking it from your time. Oh.
The
So
five-
tell the parable.
No, the 5 way in this thing.
Yeah.
You miss the time we go. Why do you let us come back? Right now, 20. I'm saying it's not fair to the Barcelona fans. They are there in the comment section. They are not happy. 20 minutes is not enough. It's not
Actually,
fair.
please.
Lamine Yamal.
Shout out boy, be some
You
way.
react, see, take your end product merchants and your finishers and wine. Me, I prefer
Baller.
the ballers.
The baller.
Agba baller. See, nobody. See, there is nobody currently operating at that kid's level. Give him the Ballon d'Or already.
Wait, what?
Give him the Ballon d'Or already. There's no conversation to be had. Because when the chips were down, Barca knew their best route to finding goals in that game was through the 17-year-old. When the chips were down, in the Champions League semi-final, the apex, the summit of European football, till this point, they knew. And there was no question about it. When Hansi Flick set up his team and when the game started, there were no, why is the team not playing through the middle or playing through the left? Decision making, 1v1, dribbling ability, body feints, spatial interpretation, combination with teammates, confidence to take on opponents, shooting ability, match winning ability, everything. 99.9%. Look, for as long as I've watched football, I've never seen a 15-year-old and now a 17-year-old as good as Lamine Yamal. The maturity is... Think of all of your favorites and all of your greats. How many of them were deciding European Championship finals at 17? How many of them were bossing Champions League semi-finals at 17? At 17, this kid has got 100 appearances for Barcelona, and that's the fear I have.
Child abuse.
That, yes, they may...
If I take my son to the farm 100 times when he's
You
15
have
years,
questions... They'll
They'll tell me I'm abusing him. Even though I take him to school still.
Yes.
But the boy is playing football because of that. He can't go to
yesterday
class
we were
like
told,
that.
we're
It's
told
not
that
child
he had to
abuse.
take a pain suppressing injection.
Yeah.
Those things are not good.
Child abuse. It's only child abuse when it doesn't fetch money.
So,
But
Uniska, there is a different
it is
nomenclature.
great opportunity for
Yes.
youngsters believing in the youth
Yes.
when it fetches money.
Uniska, there is a different nomenclature for
Interesting.
your crimes.
Yeah.
When you have money, the dictionary is different. So I just hope that people around him will protect him. Because at 17, it doesn't make sense. And it is not right that he's played 100 games at Barcelona. Yes, the numbers look good. Yesterday in commentary position, I checked his numbers with Messi's. By Messi's first 100 games,
He had not even played 50.
he had...
Messi's first 100 games,
100 games.
which came at the age of what?
I think 19 or... No, it was after 19 or something.
Yeah, it was something 19.
Yeah.
Because at the age of 17,
He
Messi
had-
had played less than 20 games.
He had 54 goal contributions. Lamine has 56 by that time. But it's not just the numbers.
So Lamine will be
The
better than
difference
Messi.
for me at this
That's-
age.
Oh, he's just
Look,
saying
no,
that.
At this age.
When is your
Yeah.
me at
No,
this
it's
age?
okay.
At the age
It's
of
okay.
17.
It's when Messi made 100 appearances. He had contributed.
Let me even bring
that's
it home.
cool.
At 17.
Rashford said they do
there is
some calculation.
nobody
They say they
in
will
the
not
modern
be.
era.
It's cool.
At 17, there is nobody in the modern era who's exhibiting the maturity levels, and his overall performance was as good as Lamine Yamal. Nobody, no, absolutely nobody. There's the only one who comes close with even him. The maturity levels we're seeing that took him to Ballon d'Or was after 18. Ronaldo, Nazario Lima.
was Mbappe at 17 not
Was a
better?
finisher.
No. I thought it was a proper winger Monaco. Like, he was devastating on the
But
line at the
his-
time. Was he not better in terms of...
So that's the point. You said at times.
No, at the time. I said at the time. He was...
Right.
Like, when Falcao was playing down the middle,
Yeah.
Mbappe was tearing people, dribbling people
He
against
was.
you. And he was scoring.
He was.
Yeah.
But not at this rate. Because
Actually,
Bro,
are you
see,
sure?
One
That-
they play for Barca,
see,
one they play for Monaco.
it's,
That's why.
no, it's not.
One they
see,
play for Barca, one they
What
play
I've
for
That
seen
also
Lamar,
matters. That also
what
counts.
I've seen
FFA
Lamar,
5 minutes about he's
What I've
taking
seen-
decided to talk
But
about
he's
Lamine
talking about
Yamal.
Lamine Yamal for your whole time.
yeah, so I'm concluding.
Okay.
Inter Milan. Hats off to them. Yes, I was disappointed with the way they managed the 2-0 advantage because I felt, one, there was no need to fight fire with fire once Barca picked up and had momentum. And also the long balls over the top didn't make sense. Perhaps it was why Inzaghi was screaming at Çalhanoğlu that he should calm it down. In the second half, when they decided to be patient, we saw it. And it was very uncharacteristic of them. For a team that is famed for their patience and their humility when going through that cycle of top, it was strange to see them attempt to go toe-to-toe with Barca after Lamine's first goal for them. So it was strange. But in the second half, they showed why people respect them so much. Because they have not scored in 3 consecutive games. But against Barca, they produced 3 goals. And perhaps, but for better decision-making, could have scored a couple more. Or could have created a couple more in that situation. Denzel Dumfries. I was just looking at the numbers, and he's having an all-timer season for a fullback.
Yeah.
He now has double digits.
Yeah.
In all competitions.
Yeah.
That is Cafu, peak Dani Alves levels, right? As far as influence and match-winning ability is concerned for a fullback. And I think he doesn't get the praise that he deserves. And
Right.
I was very happy for him that he had that run. Marcos Thuram as well. He hasn't trained in 2 weeks. 1 training session, they gave him injections to go and play, but did very well from the little that he was fed with. I have no doubts in my mind that the Pau Kubasi incident, I felt so bad for him because if he's fit, Kubasi doesn't catch him. He doesn't take the ball wide.
Yeah.
The 1v1 that he took wide and then. But it was also brilliant defending from
I should be wrapping up.
Pau Kubasi. But I think that this would be about the best
So
game.
who goes through?
I think Inter still.
Great. Coach.
When you watched the game yesterday, I mean, as a coach, to be honest with you, I was not happy with what I saw regarding the scoreline. And it's the semi-finals. 3-3 Athens, both Simeone and Hansen Flick could have done better. Because what you don't want to do is to leave a semi-finals this open, not respecting the fact that it is the final that beckons. And for that matter, you have to be a bit cautious in your approach. Like Achu rightly said, there were moments in that game where Inter shouldn't have gone toe-to-toe. Barcelona, we all knew that they would want to dominate the possession. Look, Inter Milan had a brilliant start. They scored within the first, 2-3 minutes?
No, under 1 minute they were up.
They were up.
From passing the ball.
So the moment you do that,
40 seconds. Start.
the moment you do that, come back to the game plan and then calm everybody down. Because the quality in front of you was such that these guys would definitely want to respond immediately. They were the home team. Even at away, they will want to tell you that, hey, okay, fire for fire. Let's go at it and let's see who is better. Then Inter then got the second goal. Then I felt that, you all know I support Barcelona. I said they'll go through. And I said that, wow. 2-0 to an Italian opposition. Truth be told, I didn't see Barcelona coming back immediately. But that is where you can speak for Lamine Yamal. Nobody saw that goal coming. It wasn't a chance. He picked it up. I think he outmuscled somebody.
He outmuscled
somebody
Thuram.
and then received the ball again.
Thuram then.
And when he picked up the ball, he was going into the crowd.
Yeah.
And they all knew he's left-footed. So they were forcing him onto, or they were more or less preventing him from going onto his left foot. Then he had to come onto his right foot before back onto the left foot. And then he picked the spot. But look at, even where the crowd with which the ball traveled through into the back of the net. So nobody saw that coming. Again, Inzaghi, 2-1. Immediately, you do things to disrupt the flow of the game. Like you rightly said. Surprisingly, okay, 2-1, let's go. So in my view, that was bad coaching for one of the very established, well-known, best coaches in the game in the modern era.
Coach, question.
Go ahead.
We saw on the sidelines, Inzaghi kept, it was like a banter between him and Çalhanoğlu. You're asking him to keep it short. He kept, and the long balls were not finding it.
You tell him.
Did you take him off or?
I tell him. Come on, sit down, bloody fool. What is that? Come and sit down.
Bloody what?
Bloody fool. Granting, what will you have done?
I'll give him
Bloody fool, come and sit down. Because, you see, it was more or less giving
Playing into Barca's hands.
unnecessary turnovers and inviting the guys to keep coming to. Look, in football, you can defend, you can repel, you can push. But the one who chases the ball burns a lot
Energy.
more energy than the one in charge of the ball. Okay? So once they started doing that, I was asking myself, come on, man, what are these guys doing? Calm down. You are leading 2-1 away from home. Take the 2-1 into recess. And then compel them or go into recess. Let your coach harmonize the situation with you. And then throw the challenge. Now come and break us down. Because it was always that clear that on the transition, Inter was very dangerous. You remember last week, I said something here about Hansen Flick. That this is the game where I felt that he needs to find a balance between coming high up, high line, and then at times dropping a bit deep. He never did any of that. And I was asking myself, physically, Inter were the better team. Look, these are men. There were times you could clearly see that they were playing against boys in terms of power, strength, physique, and everything. That is why, even when Barcelona decided to press the ball, they could hit a long ball to Turan. He's jumping with who? Kubasi. He's jumping with Kubasi. That is a no contest. Kubasi will prefer the ball play to Turan on the turf. So anytime Inter went long, Turan could head the ball to Lotario or chase the ball into the onrush. And Inter did it so beautifully that whenever they go long, they needed somebody closer to the target man so that he can direct the ball. And in Barcelona, they were that high up the pitch. Look at the fourth goal that Mkhitaryan scored. Yeah. It was just by what? Skin of the teeth.
Toe. Like
just the toe.
So unfair.
Just the toe. That was what ruled the goal offside. And that, I look at Hansi. Look, I was watching a game with some Barcelona. So for the very first time, they were complaining about the high line. And I said,
that's what has served them so well.
No, but pragmatism is the way to go. Just drop it slightly to get them to have that extra thought whether to pass it or not to. But when it became so obvious that anytime they went long and they controlled the ball, the next pass, Yanko, Osimo, everybody go forward. You don't do that. So like I said, Barcelona packed them back 2-2. They went, they came back, they got that. And let me just comment. One thing that was very clear, apart from the first goal, the other two Inter goals were all from set pieces. And I think that is going to be a major factor.
That's number 17.
Last week, if you remember on the pod, I said that, and I got that video and I posted it. I said on the pod that Barca needed to be careful about intercept.
Yes, I remember very well that you said that.
Actually did also add to the fact that
and
all of those balls are coming from outswingers.
And then
the whip it's in the way that the goalkeeper can't come in.
No, but I think surprisingly, when they do that, nobody blocked the goalkeeper off.
But the goalkeeper can't come.
No, he can't come.
Beyond the reach of the keeper.
I'm coming.
And that's what Chesney tried to do for the second.
He didn't.
Even for the second goal.
For the second, for the Dumfries
too far
goal,
away from the goalkeeper.
Yes, it is too far away from the goalkeeper. But because nobody is blocking him,
he should come that far.
If he's coming that far,
but coach,
he has the advantage.
The ball is not hanging; it's moving at a pace.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying.
So he can't reach it because the ball is only dipping. Especially the Dumfries goal. I thought again, people didn't give credit to
the second one.
Okay, that's a good question. the second one.
I think the second one.
People don't give credit to the dip of the ball. It came on the outside, but it dipped this way. So Chesney started moving as though I can grab it.
And then he sees that
the flight of the ball is against him. It's going to the far post.
Watch his body position.
Yeah.
Normally, for corner kicks from this way, goalkeeper, you don't face this way. You turn and face the corner kick.
Yeah.
If you do this, you are likely to miss the trajectory of the ball. It's basic. So Chesney's position was this, waiting to see the ball before he goes. That's why he misjudged the flight of the ball. But if he has face to turn the ball, face to see the ball, he gets that trajectory correct all day. And he's not coming to grapple. He's just coming because he has that extra advantage. Look, in the second leg, he has to do a lot of that. And it was shocking to me that Inter were not putting somebody on him to block him. And it is something that they really don't do.
Yeah.
So, if you look at the Barcelona team, who are the headers of the ball?
Kubasi, Inigo Martinez,
Kubasi,
Kunde,
Orao.
Yeah,
and then if Lewandowski is there, he also drops to come and defend.
Frankie de Jong at times.
They will have to do better.
Right.
on the set. If they don't do better,
Coach, who wins
then-
the game though?
Look,
The
I
second
think for
leg.
the fact that the away goal
Rule doesn't count.
doesn't, I still fancy Barcelona to go through.
Danny,
I also fancy Barca because, to be frank, I said it on commentary duty. Barcelona always score. So even at 2-0 down, like I knew it was just a matter of time. They would by all means settle. They will play their football and they will create chances. And Barca always score. But Inter don't always score. And they don't always have to score more than one goal to win a game. That's how good their defense has been this season. But in the past few games, it's not really looking like that. And I think that's where I'm personally looking at it from. Respect to Inter, they're a brilliant team.
Yeah, brilliant team.
But I
Well
feel
coached
if
team.
this was the Inter from last month,
Let's say
going
2 months
back
ago,
to the start of the season,
they see this
at
through.
2-0, it's done. But what I saw yesterday was the Inter that has been showing in the past few weeks.
yeah.
And that is a troubled Inter Milan. To be frank, yes, in as much as Barcelona always create chances, I think Inter's management of the game also aided Barcelona.
Yeah, man.
Now, I was coming to sing Lamine Yamal's praises, but he's done it. Super. And what I love about it is, we know the guy is good, but in moments like this, when you are shocked, the stadium was quiet. Like they were shocked.
Yeah.
And then he started demanding the ball. He will drop deep and go and pick it and come. That is responsibility at that age. Like if you guys are afraid, fine. And
Yeah,
he gave
we'll do
them
it.
the spark. And once he started playing, everybody picked up from his what he was
You
doing.
see celebration after the goal.
But
Calm.
relax,
Calm.
we have this. But you see, Inzaghi, he shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
At the Euros.
Mr. Flex service shocked me.
No, Flick shocked me, but Flick is Flick. But Inzaghi shocked me because of the two, he's the more pragmatic.
Yes, he's the
He's
more,
the one you know will go back,
We'll
look
go
at
back,
tapes,
look at it, and
look at.
then little details.
As for Flick, plan A is plan A, is a better plan. Plan B is a better plan A. Plan C is plan A. No, we know it.
Stubborn
It's supposed,
academy.
never. You will stick to it. At the Euros, when Italy faced Spain, we saw something between Lamine and Dimarco.
Yeah.
In fact, that day Dimarco was trending.
If
If you isolate the guy with him,
Obachino.
he will claim. That
Obachino.
guy, he don't go see top. And you see, Italy played that similar back three with Dimarco as a wing back. And Spain isolated him. In fact, that day he was double. No, if he doesn't work here, we'll go to the other side. Nico Williams. But the difference was, because Balde didn't play, Barcelona couldn't use Rafinha's side
At
as
all.
much. So you know that Barcelona will be focused down on Lamine's side.
You're right.
What Inzaghi did in the second half to double team
And when
him,
Kunde also got hurt,
got hit, that also took something
it was
out.
obviously Lamine all day.
Yes.
So come on, man.
So what he did in the second half, I think, is what he should have done from the beginning.
Carlos Augusto should have started.
No, not Carlos
Oh,
Augusto. The switch. When Lamine comes onto his
left foot.
left foot inside, the responsibility is passed over. Similar to what Mourinho did with Messi in 2010.
Yes.
Zanetti is taking him. Take him on his right foot. Once he cuts in, pass it on to Cambiaso. And then you retreat. So they are not dragging you out of position and creating spaces in their pockets. And that's also, if you notice, Lamine wasn't as explosive in the second half as in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to come to the. Okay.
Yeah,
go
I
on.
think Barcelona, Inter Milan handled him better. And I feel because we had already seen something happen just last summer, we have seen this matchup before. And you know that Dimarco is good,
But there's always going to be
but there's
one
always
winner.
going to be a problem. Inzaghi also, in how he started the game in terms of their press, the idea made sense, but the deployment for me was an issue. Letting Dimarco fire and going to Kunde direct, leaving that gap for Acerbi to now, it was basically now shifting them into a back four, which allowed Barcelona to get back into the game. That was the issue. That's what caused the Lamine Yamal goal. And then he tried to switch it. Now restricted DiMarco's movement. So now he was isolated. It was still a back five, but Lamine was still getting behind him. My point is, it shocked me because the guy he's smarter than that. I don't think the scenario
You mean
should have...
Inzaghi?
Yes. I don't think the scenario should have played out before he
Reacted to it.
For me, thinking before the game, because I had seen what had happened at the Euros, I thought that Inter would be better suited to deal with that problem. And I repeat it again, especially because the threat on the other side was nullified because of Balde. Now, Barcelona.
Can I ask you a question on that before? Is it not the case of you've planned for it? So I think for his first attempt, we saw that there were bodies around him. There were 3 enough. Is it not the case of the application or the execution of the strategy as opposed to the lack of what you are saying? Because each time you realize that minimum, right through the first half, minimum he had 2 to contend with. First, Mkhitaryan before him.
You see, it's not... The idea in principle, I'm saying the idea to press Koundé makes sense from an offensive point of view. But what it does to your defensive setup is what I didn't like. Because when certain players are asked to, so Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu in transition, having to shift to that side and defend against Lamine Yamal, you are now freeing up space
in the middle
for Pedri and co. So Barcelona, how do I put it? In the first 2, in fact, like 5-10 minutes, it was working. But once Barca figured it out, that switch was made. In transition, Barca played to the middle, from the middle to Lamine.
After the second goal.
After the second goal. And now Lamine has the space and the skill to do what he wants to do. Again, Inzaghi should have been able to deal with that. But Barca, the reason why I think they'll win the second leg, I read that Balde will play.
Yeah, he'll be back. It's likely
Lewandowski too is likely to be back. He may not start, but he can come in as an impact sub. The Inter I've seen in the last month defensively don't look as sound. I thought, in fact, the Bayern Munich game, remember I said I thought it was a one-off, but that was the start of their shaky form.
And remember, I also said that if Bayern had been a bit clinical, they would have knocked them out.
I thought it was a bit like it was a one-off. They will revert to type. But it doesn't look like in the next 6 days it's going to go like that. So with Balde coming back, now they have 2 sides to contend with. And the way Barcelona play, again, whether it's home, it's away, it's neutral ground, they will create chances. So from an Inter Milan point of view, Inter will have to be a bit more expansive, as in more offense oriented, trying to get a bit more goals, because 1 goal is not going to be enough in this game.
No.
2 goals may not be enough, so you have to try and create chances.
Right.
But that is something I don't think they can over the space of 90 minutes. If it travels to extra time, I think Barcelona have the extra to get past them.
Okay.
Now, what Hansi Flick too? Quick one to Hansi Flick about the high line. The high line thing. You see, the Inter front 2 are not as pacey. And when I say that they are not as pacey, like Lautaro, if you put him there, he has pace. But compared to Kubasi
will catch him all days.
If he drops that line a yard or two,
they can see.
Inter are relying on the pace of Dimarco
and Barella.
Dumfries.
The Dumfries.
To beat that high line. So the pace comes from there. So the middle guys win it off. If it's a long ball,
then they give
it winning it off. If they are hitting it diagonal, they are going to Dumfries, like what we saw with the first goal. It went to Dumfries, beats the high line with his pace. Thuram and Lautaro are late arrivals.
They are late arrivals.
So if you drop it deep, it's even an offensive advantage. If you drop it a yard or 2, you are luring, I'm talking on second leg, you are luring Dumfries deeper into your, because he's watching the line in terms of when Inter are being offensive. He's watching the line. In the first leg, it's so high, he's closer to his defense. So even if the ball doesn't come, retreating is easier.
Yeah.
It's closer. But if Barca drop it a couple yards back, which will still ideally be high, you are luring Dumfries
away from his defensive responsibility.
And Bogabalde is there in the second leg. So that's why I think if, and again, just like Luis Enrique, who is my guy from way back.
Flex.
You remember the time Bayern faced Barcelona?
Yeah.
The guy said, I call Flick.
Yeah,
Why I tell him, say, today Messi must pay.
Yeah.
So he gave me 8-2 quick. So as for Flick and idea, way back.
So you go call him.
I go call him,
Who's
tell
going
him, say,
through?
I beg you.
Make you drop
Just
the team.
drop it small.
Maybe 2 years.
I think Barcelona will beat Inter.
Right, interested. Let us know what you think in the comment section as well. I think, and in 2 minutes, to be fair, I think that even though Inter could have done some things to prevent the Barca goals, and of course, as for Barca, I said that they had to defend well.
But Charlie, we didn't, just before you continue and more or less end it, that Barca third goal, you saw the set piece.
Rafinha, yeah, the corner, the
They
dummy,
tried it in the first half.
Yeah.
The dummy and the strike.
and then the hit.
The strike.
The hit.
Another player is
that
blazing
guy
that
technical.
ball. Look, another player is
Rafinha,
blazing that
He's
ball.
got another very good ball at the end of the game, and then Soma
Yeah,
had
Soma
to
had
take
to
it up. He's got a clean hit. So I'm saying that, yeah, I agree with what all of you have said about Lamine Yamal, and he was brilliant and everything. I think that first goal is special. It's brilliant. Like, it's one of those goals that
You can't defend against.
you're waiting for someone to take the responsibility because you are close yet
They're not
far.
close enough.
Like the Euro semi-final against France.
Yeah.
It's not any, you can't really blame it.
You can't really blame anybody because he carries the ball, he's weaving through. And when you've got and that is why I hate modern football. And I said football has fallen off. What Lamine Yamal did will take us back to some 20 years ago when wingers and attackers will carry the ball. So he takes the ball. Inter are looking good at the time he took the ball. But it's just the sheer ability and confidence of the lad to weave through, body checks here and there. And then as soon as the ball left his boots, you just knew it was
There's
a
only
goal.
one destination.
And you spoke about the isolating DeMarco and Lamine Yamal, who killed him all day. But the second Lamine Yamal attempt after the first goal came right after the first goal. It was so quick. I'm not sure even if Inzaghi made any change, it would have settled before that. But to be fair, after that Lamine Yamal's second incident, he barely caused them problems in and around the box. Most of the problems now were further away from the box because he shut that bar line for him. He shut that half space of Lamine Yamal. So he had to then start dropping deeper and he did affect the game, to be fair, when he dropped that deep. But it wasn't in the box where he caused them the problems he caused in the first minute. And the reason I feel sorry for Inzaghi is because the 2 other goals he conceded are not necessarily Barca-like goals.
Yeah.
So those are not scenarios you necessarily have maybe
Legislated.
planned for.
No.
But that is how smart Barca were, especially the second goal.
I think the
the
second
Ferran
goal
goal was a
The
Barca
Ferran
goal.
goal was a Barca goal.
So in
because
terms of-
they pop and waited for the movement. Look, pass, bam.
Agreed. The reason I say it's not a Barca goal necessarily is, as for the passes, Inter were happy to have Barca pass in front of them. They were very happy. Nobody was engaged. Nobody was applying the pressure on the ball. When Pedro was going to cross the ball, nobody was applying the pressure on the ball. What Inter wouldn't have been expecting was that when the ball is floated into the box, it is that perfect. And the Pedri ball doesn't get the credit it deserves. The ball wasn't flighted in for anybody to compete with. It was a pass to Rafinha's head. Yeah. Rafinha didn't even have to climb
wasn't a
above
cross.
everybody. It wasn't a
But
cross.
again, look at the movement of Fernan Torres. As at the time
yes,
the pass
the
was
ball is
made, he
going.
was not even in the box.
He's
But
going.
to be fair,
That is Rafinha.
to be fair, that is
Awareness.
you see.
No,
to be
as far
fair,
as
that
the
is a
ball gets to
mistake.
Rafinha, it's different.
Tichu,
I'm saying,
to be fair, that's
Yeah.
a mistake on Bisek and Acerbi.
How?
no, I think
You
it's
can't have-
Bisek and Dumfries more than Acerbi. Acerbi
Fair
is this
enough.
way.
Fair,
Yeah.
because the pass was brilliant.
Yes.
So marking the Rafinha bit will be difficult, but the 2 centre backs, you can't have a situation where someone gets a free run like that.
No,
right
you
through
cannot
the
No,
block
middle.
for the Ferran Torres
Someone has
issue,
to go with him.
No, for the Ferran Torres issue,
Yeah.
I don't blame the 2 centre back because I'm thinking one of those midfielders should. What the run is making,
Maybe,
it's
but someone
it's
has
later.
to.
Someone has
to
to.
go with him.
Someone has to. But the reason why I think it's difficult is, in football terms, someone has to. When Barca were passing the ball sweet and cute, Ferran's body posture was like, because the ball is not coming, I am
going
dropping
to
to go and play some.
some.
And so the Inter defenders were happy to allow him go. Leave the zone.
So
But
in
the
fact, he
moment
showed
was
up.
dropped,
He showed up for the ball.
The moment
And
he
the
was
Pedri
coming,
ignored him.
the ball went
So
to
he
Rafinha.
just turned.
Then Rafinha's presence. The reason why this goal, for me, Lamine Yamal's goal is, but for a team to orchestrate the second goal
This
together.
more of a team goal.
Yeah, it was too good. I think it beats plenty teams, especially when you are not looking to play the ball more and you're happy to defend. Because the perfection of the Pedri's ball,
pass and the cushion header.
Awareness.
the presence of mind of Rafinha
That's it.
to cushion the ball into the pattern, and Ferran Torres
Assist.
like for coming shots and then coming back,
And then,
realizing the
like,
ball is over your head.
Similar
Recycling.
to last season, Vinicius and Cruz.
Finishers and Cruz.
That's the
Exactly.
Bucket.
Go there. Go there.
Bring the defense. Yes. So
Bring
I think
it and go.
So I feel sorry for Inzaghi because, and I agree. Bisek maybe should be looking over his shoulder. But see
Yeah,
the
look,
quality of the ball.
These
from
things are
Pedri.
done in
It's-
microseconds.
Split seconds. So it comes down to the quality of the balls.
Yeah, man.
Because the quality of the ball from Pedri, there was no it was to his, unless you are standing close to the attacker.
That's where you can engage.
That's where you can disturb the attacker. But it was so credit to Pedri, credit to Ferran Torres for what he did. It was like, I'm coming short. Oh, but the boy is going, so let me come
Let me
on.
quickly recycle.
And then Rafinha's presence of mind to just head the ball into his path. Brilliant. But yeah, I think Barca go into the second leg as favorites in Italy. They do because Inter have looked tired and jaded.
Yeah, man.
In that second leg against Bayern, we saw that they were cramping. Even in yesterday's game, to be fair, some players were cramping and everything. And they lost against Bologna, Mussolini's last minute goal.
Roma.
They lost against Roma.
Who did they
Milan.
play this weekend?
They lost against Milan.
That was Bologna.
No,
who
that was
are they
Roma.
playing?
Roma. They lost
They
against
play-
Roma.
no, who are they playing before?
They are playing against again, that matters because the title chase is still on, right? And so I think that Barcelona come into this tie for me as favorites, but Inter will play against Verona at home. I think it's a kind
Barca
of
is playing
system.
who?
Barca as well are playing. Give me a second. Let me look at
I
this.
think they are playing on Sunday.
Barcelona are playing on Sunday. Yeah, probably because Barca are playing Real Valladolid, right? So they are manageable fixtures for these two teams.
Yeah.
At home.
Away from home could be tough, but
Saturday
it's
evening.
Barcelona. Saturday evening, yeah, I think they would have played because Barca will play on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They'll play on
Saturday
Tuesday. They
evening.
played, yeah. So for me, the game is still very open, but I think I'll lean towards Barca. Danny mentioned in the score, but the reason why I think Hansi Flick cannot drop the line a little bit is if he does, it drops the front line. The reason why Hansi Flick's line is high is the distance between defense and attack. Always tight and compact.
So that
So
is
when they catch you in that cage,
So what they need to do, what they need to do in the second leg, if he's going to keep it that high,
Yeah.
then they should win the second ball,
yeah. That's
which was something they didn't
crucial.
do.
Do well in the
That
because-
second ball, they should win it.
No, but you see,
And you see, for me,
and
it
they are not
was-
favorites in winning the
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
the
true.
issue.
That's it.
So but I think
No,
you
but
won't
see,
drop the
of
line.
2 games. If there was one game where Barca had a better chance of winning those balls, it is this one. The guy Thuram, he hasn't trained for 2 weeks. Inter were literally playing 10 against 11. Physically, he's not in the condition.
Thuram wins the first ball.
Boy, yeah, but
No,
somebody,
always win the
second
first
ball.
ball.
Yeah, so
Whoever
somebody has
picks
to
up
get
the second
closer.
ball, that's the issue.
I
And,
was saying
and I
that-
enjoyed Mkhitaryan's game, to be fair, because he did a lot of picking of those second balls. I mean, he wasn't fancy on the eye, but when it came to picking
Yeah.
those second balls and always following up on the long ball,
I
he
think
was there to
De Jong and Pedri will have to be
do a lot.
a bit more.
Because I think they asked for the high line there. It is very necessary for Barca. Because if it drops it 2 yards, 3 yards, and the attackers stay where they are normally starting from, there is space.
He has to
But
hope that
Barca
Valdez-
is able to operate when the cage. You see, the high line is not high line KK.
Of course.
You will see the space, but nobody ding
you see-
because there's pressure on you to pick your head up and play that pass. You saw Bastoni. I'm coming. You saw Bastoni try to switch some Bobby. That the whole preno because Tokro did the whole about to win ball.
That be at 2-1 or say 2.
Yes,
Then why you dey pray?
pressure,
Why you dey pray?
pressure, killer, pressure. Barca, we are fucking.
Send the ball back to Soma.
Yeah, I thought he would have
Send
gone
it there.
back.
Come
Yeah.
back. Go like this.
But that is the thing about Barca. It's so tempting because you're not too sure if you have that space again. So when the line is high,
You want to go.
because they have dominated the ball now and you. What do you know to Tokro they must say you want to force it. But so I think the line
I
was
see,
to be
that
high.
was why
So-
I was saying that this was unlike Inter, like that first half performance.
yeah.
The Inter, like Daniel said, a month ago, they don't rush it.
So they are not there.
They physically no, they are not. They don't have that.
Yeah, so
that-
we are
that
saying
right
the same
condition.
thing that currently the form. Look, I think they are a bit more concerned too about the Serie A. To be
No, there is
sincere.
that. There is that. The constitutionality, they've got their mind. Anyway, guys, this is where we leave. I'll take quick predictions from the guys on the Europa League games coming out tonight. Manchester United are playing against Bilbao. Inaki Williamson, his brother, Ghanaian, what's his name? Nico. No, Inaki Ghanaian. Nico. Yeah, Kamiyeri Nico. Coach, who wins? Just prediction. Alessandro Mes.
Atletico are favorite to win.
Danny,
The business will happen next week.
who wins today?
Athletic, but the Bilbao should take it.
He ends in a draw.
Yes, in the draw. Man United against Spanish clubs, you know the answer. Man United are losing tonight.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Anyway, guys, so we have
You
to
also said that we beat.
Anyway, there's Hassan Kotoko as well. Predictions. It's hard to chase. Achu hasn't got to go. Who's winning? Zito will win. Coach will win.
I don't trust our league, so I don't talk about it.
You don't talk about it. Okay. So
when they get serious, we'll start talking about it.
Anyway, guys, so that is how we wrap up our live broadcast today. Thank you very much. We didn't even announce it, but you guys are wonderful for tuning in.
We had close to 700 people watching.
Yeah, and there's something I realized today. Like the audience are engaging themselves in the comments.
Yeah. That's good.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
No, the comments you read, no.
Yeah.
Please spark the people.
Yeah, guys,
No,
Charlie,
but
guys,
it's
it's very necessary. You're part of the show.
Yeah.
You're part of the show. So thanks to you so much. We'll be coming your way again when the semis are done. Let us know who you think is going to win to get to the final. We did our maps here. Our final maps here. We'll get that video. We'll post it in the course of the week. Let's engage you with your thoughts. We spoke about who will win.
Who go
to the semi-final. We'll go to the final. Yeah. So we'll do that. Guys, thank you very much, Coach.
Charlie,
You sport it.
always a pleasure.
Daddy K, you sport it. Achu, you sport it.
Oh, Arteta, I beg you.
All right, guys, it's a wrap. Thank you. Remember, subscribe, put on the bell button, and then share with your friends anytime we post. Drop your comments. And thank you very much.
Sexy.
Thomas Partey,